Chapter 4367, Puff, Puff, Puff. Guoran shot 9 arrows in a row, and 6 of them hit the key point of the immortal strong man's eyebrows. Guoran's arrows are made of the most top-grade materials, with unparalleled sharpness, and the sharpness is no less than that of immortal soldiers. It also depicts the array. As soon as it penetrates the flesh and blood, the arrow will explode automatically. What's more insidious is that among the fragments, there are few different energies such as gold, wood, water, fire, and earth, which can cause great damage. The most damaging thing is that some of the fragments are also highly toxic. Xiachen thinks that some of them are too insidious, but Guoran doesn't think so. According to Guoran, as long as they can be forced to fight, it must be the enemy. Since it is the enemy, fighting should take his life. It's bullshit whether it's damaged or not. Only those who can live are heroes. Therefore, these arrows are the most terrible killers. Even if they do not hit the key, they will be enough for people to drink. If they hit the key, even the immortal and strong will have to drink their hatred one after another. After 9 arrows, 7 immortal strong men were killed, and the remaining 2 were killed by Gu Yang and by Shishir, though they avoided the key points at the critical moment. The rest of the strong people who passed through the high wall were injured. You know, the high wall formed by Li Qi and Song Mingyuan has amazing defensive power, but it appears too abruptly. They are not prepared at all. They almost didn't kill themselves by hitting them with their bodies. Puff, puff, puff. In the void, the sword qi is crisscross, and the huge heads rise to the sky. It's Yu Zifeng who has made the move. The sharp sword qi is more terrible than the immortal magic weapon. The body of the immortal strong man is so weak in front of Yu Zifeng. Brothers, Guoran put away his crossbow and put on his sword. His gold wings trembled behind him, like a flash of lightning, and rushed to those immortal strong men. Boom boom. Guoran, wearing armor, is brave and invincible. He doesn't care about the attacks of the immortal and powerful. He allows those attacks to fall on him, but he counterattacks without scruple. What the hell is this? An immortal and powerful man in the wilderness roared. His claws were on Guoran's neck. As a result, Guoran was unharmed, but his sharp nails were shattered and his blood was flowing. The strong in the wilderness have not contacted with the Terran for countless years. When did they see such armor? Let alone them, Guoran's armor is composed of hundreds of parts, each of which is immortal. The rune on his armor is thousands of times more complex than the protection array of some sections. It can be said that he is not a person at all, but a mobile killing array. Those immortal and strong people, even if they do their best, can't hurt Guoran, and Guoran gives them a chance, either death or injury. At this time, Guoran is invincible. Although his lethality is not as good as Longchen's in terms of defense, he is an iron tortoise. Anyone who takes a bite will have to break his teeth. Puff, puff, puff. Dragon dust over there also made a fierce fight. He exchanged injuries for injuries. Almost every time he fought hard, he would kill an immortal strong man. And Longchen is constantly injured, but his body is too terrible. These injuries are not fatal at all. What makes the strong people in the wilderness despair most is that the wounds on Longchen's body heal as soon as they appear. Many times, even without blood flowing out, they have recovered. Armistice, armistice. An immortal and strong man in the wilderness cried out. We need to live in peace. Killing can't solve the problem. The strong people in the wilderness are panicked. Longchen and others are too violent and bloody. They are like murderous demons, harvesting the lives of the strong people here. The world really needs peace, but not now. But rest assured that your death will promote peace in the world. Longchen sneers and doesn't care. He still kills wildly. What would he do if he wanted peace now? Longchen is still killing blood. He is more ruthless than before. His power seems endless. Every blow is shattered. The earth is sunk and the void is broken down. Huge holes appear, and the whole world is full of holes. The power of the 7 stars of dragon dust destroys the law, suppresses 10,000 ways, and causes terrible destructive power. With each blow, heaven and earth will leave shocking wounds, which cannot be healed for a long time. Dragon dust is like the reincarnation of a demon god. His whole body is covered with blood, like a bloody battle suit. Most of the blood is the immortal blood of those immortal strong men, emitting a strong fishy smell. Stop it or we'll die with you. A strong immortal roars hysterically. Poof! As a result, as soon as the immortal strong man finished roaring, he was killed by Longchen, and the huge body fell to the ground heavily. To whom? If you have any ability, just let it out. The dragon dust hums coldly, the river of stars flows behind, the 7-Ju sword slants to point to the sky, and the 2 eyes are full of Mori Lung's killing intention. Longchen didn't know how many immortal heroes he killed. He was immersed in the power of 7 stars. Now he found out that the real power of 9 stars is still a mystery. Before and now, his control of the 7-star battle body has been completely different. As he keeps killing, he feels that the power of the 7-star battle body suppresses the law more and more strongly. At the beginning, he was in a state of full swing. Although the law of heaven and earth was suppressed, there was no sign of collapse. But now, he has consumed a lot of power. It is reasonable to say that he will soon enter a state of decay, but his destruction of the law is becoming stronger and stronger, so there will be a lot of holes in the world. It seems that the 7-star battle body brings him not only strength, but also other things that are not clear and unclear. This kind of thing seems to have gradually strengthened since he killed these immortal strong men. Is the 9-star body Ju created for killing? Longchen suddenly flashed a strange idea in his mind. Damned Terran, since you are looking for death, then everyone will die together. An immortal and strong man in the wilderness suddenly roars. He incarnates as a divine bird, covering the sky with his wings. His whole body is ignited and calls out a raging fire. When the immortal strong man put on this posture, the other immortal strong men of the great wilderness gritted their teeth and summoned the Numenon one after another to retreat. Buzz, more than 80 immortal heroes in the wilderness, with their whole body ablaze with flames, began to burn their blood essence. The immortal power was absorbed by the divine birds in the sky. For a moment, the breath of terror swept the sky. No, it looks like they're going to let go. The face of Xia Chen and others changed. Originally, there were more than 200 immortal strong men in the wilderness, but now there are only more than 80 left. They have to fight because if they don't fight again, they will die. Fast back, in the distance, some strong people screamed in horror and saw that it was not good. They immediately withdrew from the door of space. In fact, these strong men did not take part in the battle. Instead, they had been watching the battle on the edge of the space gate. Now, when the situation is not good, they fled for the first time. And those who take part in the fierce battle, even if they want to escape, it's too late. They finally choose to stand behind the Dragon Blood army and ignore life and death. Although they were also afraid, when they saw the figure of Longchen and the calm color of Longchen's face, their confidence increased. Boom! The void is roaring, the whole wilderness is shaking, and the chi and blood of more than 80 immortal strong men are gathered together, which is unimaginable. Longchen put away the 7-Ju sword and stood in the front of the team, looking coldly at the group of immortal strong men. To whom? www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4368. In the face of the joint efforts of more than 80 immortal strong men, Longchen's face remained unchanged, so he stood in front of the team and looked at them coldly. Longchen, this word say, immediately let countless strong person big surprise. What circumstance? Is this a bluff? It doesn't look like it. Boom! The immortal and strong men in the wilderness tremble all over, and their chi and blood rise, just like torrents, rushing to the immortal birds above the sky, and the breath of destroying the sky and the earth is rising ceaselessly. Idiot, you dare to be tough when you are dying. With our joint efforts, no one in the world can resist. All of you are going to die. A strong immortal roars. Get out of here now, you still have a chance. At the moment when everyone was shocked, the immortal and strong man said another word, which made people stunned. What's the situation? They gathered such a terrible trick and asked them to leave? Will the strong in the wilderness be so kind? When you killed the Terrans, did you ever want to give them a chance of life? As I said, even if we calculate the old debt today, if you owe the Terran, I will get it back together with interest and capital. The blood debt will be paid by blood after all. Don't dream about it. When the Dragon Blood army comes here, either you all die or we all die. There is no third way to go. Long Chen cheers coldly. Stubborn, since you want to die, we will help you. The immortal strong man was furious. Buzz, all the immortal and strong people in the wilderness have a pillar of light, which leads to the immortal bird in the air. At that moment, the pillar of light becomes a bridge connecting their strength. I see. They use the laws of heaven here to integrate all forces. Only the power of heaven can cross the ethnic barriers and concentrate all forces together. Summer morning looks dignified. Do they already dominate the world? Otherwise, how can they control the power of heaven? Bai Xiaola couldn't help saying. It's impossible. If they can dominate the world, we can't fight them at all. Bai Shidao. No matter how strong a person is, how can he fight against the whole world? And these immortal powers cannot dominate the power of the world at all. Although they can cross the barriers of race and integrate their power, Bai Shirshir doesn't believe that they can control the wilderness. Boom boom. At this time, more and more powerful forces poured into the immortal bird. Its power became more and more terrifying, and the whole world changed color. Even the Dragon Blood soldiers felt numb. They had never seen such terrifying power. Fool, do you really want to die that much? At this moment, the immortal and strong man on the other side scolded angrily. I see. Your move is a self-injurious killing move. After that, you guys will die. Guoran suddenly realized. When Guoran said this, other people understood it. No wonder these immortal giants have been accumulating their strength, but they refuse to do it. They want to scare them away with their breath. They don't dare to send out this blow, because after this blow, it will bring them unbearable consequences. They want to scare away Long Chen. However, Long Chen has seen through their tricks for a long time. According to Long Chen's calculation, after this blow, the immortal god bird as a force-bearing point will surely die, while other people, even if they don't die, will surely be seriously injured. They have no combat power and can only be slaughtered. At that time, even if Long Chen and others died, Nye Yingtian could kill them if he came to some people. At that time, the wilderness still had to change its owner. Asshole, then you go to die. The bird's wings trembled, the void burst open, its big mouth opened, and a ball of light as gorgeous as the sun bloomed. Buzz, at that moment, everyone in Long Chen's side had a burst of scalp explosion, and a strong threat of death enveloped his heart. At that moment, countless Terran strongmen were frightened and instinctively wanted to run away, but seeing that Long Chen and others were still, they bit their teeth one by one and kept their heads. Since you don't want to do it, we're welcome. Guoran, start your performance. As Long Chen talks, he looks at Guoran. Guoran suddenly understands. His armor glows, and his double swords cross in front of his chest. Can you do it? Long Chen asked in a low voice. Absolutely no problem. Guoran is full of confidence. After hearing Guoran say this, Long Chen's big hand is pressed on the armor behind Guoran, and then the loud sound of the dragon chants resounds through the heaven and earth. Long Chen puts away the star sea vision and calls out the dragon blood battle body. Buzz, when the dragon dust summons the dragon's blood fighting body, the violent power rushes into Guoran's body. Guoran's armor is shining, breaking through the clouds, and hundreds of millions of runes on the armor are all lit up. At this time, more than 5,000 dragon blood soldiers also burst out the power of dragon blood. When all the power of dragon blood poured into Guoran's armor suddenly roared, and every rune seemed to come alive, surging madly. Kaka kaka. Guoran felt the endless power pouring into his body. He was very excited, but soon his face changed. Some parts of his armor even reached the limit and could not carry more power. He has tested with the dragon blood soldiers before. The strength of all the soldiers can reach about 60% of the armor's bearing capacity at most. There is no need to worry about the armor's bearing capacity at all. But when the dragon dust joined, the power of fury, crazy into the armor, his armor all of a sudden to the limit. Dragon Blood Cross Chopgoran was so scared that he immediately urged his big move. A little later his armor would burst. Boom! The huge cross, shot from Guaran's double swords, slashed heavily at the divine bird in the void. The strong people in the wilderness don't want to fight with Long Chen and others. They don't want to lose both sides. They just want to scare people away. Even they have already thought about it. As long as they can intimidate each other, they will send someone out to negotiate, even if it is to give some sky-high compensation to Long Chen and others. But Long Chen didn't want to do it at all. He took the initiative to attack. This time, the strong men in the wilderness were completely confused. Now they are hard to ride a tiger. Fight with them. The immortal giants of the wilderness roar that they have no way out and can only fight to death. Buzz, all the power of the immortal and strong was drained in a moment, and the huge figure of the divine bird burst into pieces. Just as it burst into pieces, the sun, in its mouth, shot forward. 1, sun, and 110 are the desperate strike of more than 80 immortal strong men on one hand, and the fusion of more than 5,000 contemporary arrogant forces on the other. This is a great shock to the world. Boom! 2 super moves just bumped into each other. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4369. Boom! Void burst open, thousands of whales, heaven and earth as a mirror general burst, forming a huge hole. Then, in the black hole, the endless blade of space poured in like a tide, sweeping the sky. Boom boom. Heaven and earth burst, heaven and earth tremble. The black tide is the torrent of space, with endless destructive force. In the past, the holes left by the explosion of space would devour heaven and earth like a mouth, but this time, the blade of space poured in backwards, destroying everything here, as if to destroy everything. Rainbow border, Ruijindan. The earth is thick and the god is sealed. Xiachen, Yuqingxian, by Shishir, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan were ready for the outbreak of the 2 destructive forces. Boom! Xiachen set up a large array on the outside to weaken the terrible torrent, followed by Yuqingchuan's flame border, by Shishi's golden shield, and the thick earth seal jointly set up by Li Qi and Song Mingyuan. Boom! Just after the completion of their layout, a torrent of terror shot past, and the rune array, the flame border and the gold shield burst into pieces. Only the thick earth border barely survived, but it was also full of holes. Fortunately, after the front of the block, the strong in the formation are safe and sound. When the thick soil seal is removed, the vibrant world in front of us has already become a desert. On the void, there is a huge hole, from which we can see the endless darkness inside, and the blade of space is flowing. Suddenly, a blade of tens of thousands of miles of space flew out of the huge cave and cut the earth in half. It was so destructive that even the way of heaven could not be restored. I'm afraid that even the immortal and strong can be killed with this blow. They are so energetic that even the immortal and strong can be killed. Although they dare not say that they are invincible in the world, at least they are hard to find opponents. But when the blade of space flies out of the torrent, it shows the power of terror, which makes everyone feel awe-inspiring. Boom! In the huge cave, the black energy flows, people seem to see the turbulent river, and the blade of space shot out from time to time in the river makes people startled. Fortunately, although the hole is huge, it only leaks in the moment just now. Now there is only an occasional space blade shooting out, which will not cause great damage to the wilderness. When Long Chen and others took their eyes away from the giant cave and turned to the immortal strong, they found that the immortal strong appeared in their original shape one by one, lying quietly in the distance, motionless. They didn't die, but the blow just now emptied all their immortal power and led them into a state of extreme weakness. Far behind them, countless strong people in the wilderness looked at the scene in despair. They couldn't believe it. No, it's not true. It must be a nightmare. Wake up quickly. A strong man in the wilderness screamed in horror and slapped his face crazily. His face was broken and blood spattered. Unfortunately, This is not a dream. I have to pay the blood debt after all. Why should I have known it before? If you had left a way for the human race, even if only one living person, I would not have done the thing of extinction. It's you who block your own way. If you don't leave a way for others, they won't leave a way for you either. Long Chen looks at the strong man in the wilderness with a cold face and no sympathy. Now you are killing us, aren't you also exterminating us? Someone will kill you in the future too. There is the roar of the strong in the wilderness. I'm different from you. I never kill people for no reason. I kill you for two purposes. One is to avenge the human race who died in the wilderness. Another purpose is to set an example to all those who are greedy for the Terran. The Terran is not easy to bully. There's no more nonsense. The truth will never be understood. Xiachen, block the exit. Let's do it together with other people. At the beginning, you will do what they did to the Terran. Longshan Cold Tunnel. Xiachen got the order and immediately blocked the rear gate with a ray. In this way, people from outside can't get in and people from inside can't get out. Kill. At the command of Longshan, countless powerful people of the human race immediately killed him. One of them cried and roared, "You 1,000 knife killers, return my family's life. Damn, my brother was killed by you. Today I want to return him thousands of times. You brutes are always trying to do justice for others. You have destroyed Qingfengmen. Now I am the only one left in Qingfengmen. Even if I die, I will do justice for more than 800,000 lives of Qingfengmen." In the wilderness, through some traitors, they infiltrated into the human race, wantonly bullied and attacked each other under the guise of upholding justice. There are many people here who are against the strong in the wilderness. Now I finally found the chance to kill them with weapons, gnashing their teeth and red eyes. The dragon blood soldiers are the first to kill the more powerful creatures here, and the rest will be handed over to others. The killing lasted for 7 days and nights, but these 7 days and nights, the dragon blood soldiers didn't fight, they scattered to the brigade to protect these strong people. Long Chen and others have been staying in the core area of the wilderness. Long Chen doesn't want to fight and disdains to fight those weak people. There is no direct deep hatred between Long Chen and the strong in the wilderness. Therefore, revenge should be handed over to those who have it. With Xiachen, the detection expert, it's futile to hide anything. Most importantly, after 7 days and 7 nights, the battle is over, and there is no other race in the whole wilderness except the human race. Putong. When all the people gathered, millions of strong men knelt down in front of Longshan, and Longshan quickly helped them up. "What are you doing?" "Elder Martial Brother Longshan, you don't know that my parents, wife and children were killed by them. Without you, my revenge would never be avenged. So, although I know I'm weak, I'm still here. When I came here, I didn't intend to go back alive. Even if I could kill one of them, I would have the face to meet my relatives in the Yellow Spring." The man said later, his voice choked and he couldn't speak any more. "So do we. We're here for revenge. Elder Martial Brother, well, never forget it." Others are also in a high voice. There are a lot of people here who don't know justice or feelings. They just come to revenge. They have nothing in their mind except revenge. Now that they have revenge, they can comfort the dead. Their gratitude to Longchen is beyond words. Longchen comforted them for a few words. After their excitement calmed down, Longchen said, "When the battle is over, start cleaning the battlefield. Everyone has a share of the spoils and the people who take part in the battle." www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4370, Elder Martial Brother Longchen, I can't use it. It's a great grace that we can take revenge. If we are still greedy for good, are we still human? Yes, we are satisfied with our revenge. Let's leave the treasure to the elder Martial brothers and sisters who have done the most. When Longchen said to clean up the battlefield, more than half of the tens of millions of strong people on the scene said no, because they all know that their contribution to this battle is not a dime. They are also dignified people, and are not willing to brazenly seek benefits, so as not to be looked down upon and poke their back. It's settled. There are endless resources here. If we don't divide them, Can we leave them to those who only know how to protect themselves and watch the fire from the other side? Although we have many people, the site here is too big, and it's also very hard to clean it. Please hurry up. Since you are all shy, well, all the treasures collected will be handed over to me. When it's over, I'll distribute them. Longchen rode. When Longchen said this, they didn't put off any more. Xia Chen had already drawn a map and began to divide the work according to the area and the number of people. They launched a carpet search, leaving no dead space. When people begin to get busy, the Dragon Blood Legion has gathered together. They have just gone through a big war and fought against the Immortal Strong. They have greatly improved their perception. Now is the best time to close the door. Originally, according to the normal process, the Dragon Blood Legion should be dispersed to various search groups, so as not to enrich one's own pockets. After all, the treasures here are amazing. If one has too many treasures in his hand, he will not be moved. But Longchen doesn't care. Even if he gives them all the wealth here, Longchen doesn't care. If they are willing to risk their lives to come to support, they are all just people. Even if they are rich in their own pockets, they will also strengthen the human race. Moreover, the part that is growing up is basically just people, which will form a virtuous circle. Longchen's move moved the strong people on the scene. They finally understood why powerful people like Yu Zifeng, Xia Chen, Guoran, Gu Yang, Li Qi, Song Mingyuan and so on would willingly follow Longchen. They can't imagine the pattern and courage of Longchen. This move alone makes them feel what trust is. With this trust, they are willing to die for Longchen. Time goes by day. Cleaning the battlefield is much more time-consuming than fighting. Although Xiachen built the detection array, it still took people a whole month to finish cleaning the battlefield. In public, people take out all kinds of harvest. Looking at the mountain of spirit stones, immortal materials and magic soldiers, even Dragon Dust is startled. There are more treasures here than he imagined. Longchen didn't ask for anything else. He threw all the collected corpses into the chaotic space. The corpses of the immortal and powerful were all treated by Xia Chen and Guoran, and they can be safely absorbed. As for the other treasures, Xia Chen and Guoran collected some precious immortal materials, which they didn't have. As for the ones they had, which were well stored, they didn't take much. The rest were all given to the strong people present. The strong people were shocked. Longchen did the most, but got some garbage bodies. Those who did the least had to give away 99% of the treasures, and they couldn't pull down this face. However, in the end, under the compulsion of Longchen, they divided the treasures equally. Everyone shared some treasures. As for some bone books and classics, Longchen took them away. Longchen said that these ancient books will be included in a separate jinga of Lingshao Academy. The strong on the spot can enter the jinga to read at any time. After dividing up the spoils, Longchen let Xiachen open the door, and at this time, countless strong men had gathered outside. When seeing Longchen and others come out, countless strong people can't help saying, "Dean Longchen, what do you mean? Why block the gate and let us in?" That's to say, we also want to do our part for the human race. Is it a bit overbearing for you to do so? What? When the negotiation is finished and the benefits are obtained, will we be kicked out? You know, without us, it is impossible for the strong in the wilderness to compromise. Numerous Terran strongmen surrounded Longchen and others. Many of them were the strong men who followed Longchen into the wilderness. These strong men have different accomplishments, old and young. In addition to them, there are also strong men of various forces in Nirvana. Longchen even saw that the strong men of the immortal family were among them. It's really shameless. You ran away when you really tried hard. Now it's over. You've come to make a profit. How can the Terran have you shameless guys? Longchen hasn't yet waited to speak. The strong men who fight with Longchen can't stand it. Some people can't help yelling. I've never seen such shameless people before. They were so bloody, and together with Longchen, they destroyed the wasteland. How could they bear such grievances? Directly scold people. Noisy, what are you? Is there a place for you to talk? A half-step immortal old man couldn't help yelling. When he saw that the guy who was swearing was just a young man with average accomplishments, he could not help but get angry. Pa, What everyone didn't expect was that the boy was tough enough to reach out with a big mouth on the old man's face. "You're an old bully. When I worked hard on the battlefield, you didn't know where to hide to be a turtle. What are you? Is there a place for you?" After the young man slapped, he pointed at the old man and swore. His whole family was seduced by enemies and killed by the strong people in the wilderness. Now they have got revenge. They are not afraid of death at all. They are brave and have the manner of killing me. You want to die? The old man was very angry. As soon as he was about to fight, all the strong men behind Longchen cried angrily, "Dare you touch him?" These disciples had just experienced a killing. With a strong murderous spirit, they yelled in unison. The old man's face changed greatly and his body could not help shaking. Then a bad smell came. "Garbage, you can bully honest people. Get away from it. Don't pollute elder Marshal Brother Longchen's eyes." When the young man saw the dignified old man, he was so scared that he peed in his pants and kicked him away with one foot. He looked disgusted. No one thought that the old man was the leader of a middle school. He was in a high position, but he was a shock bag. If he didn't have the real ability, he had the ability to scare people. The wilderness has changed its owner, and now it's a Terran territory. At this time, Guoran stood up and announced in a high profile. "What?" The strong people on the scene, a look of disbelief, almost can't believe their ears. "Let's go. Next time, let's see if the 8 kings are better than the 6. Long Chen finished with a wave of hands. All the people rushed away from the crowd, straight to No Man's World. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4371. Long Chen and his party left in a mighty way and headed for the uninhabited world. For a moment, all the people present were stupid. Some people reacted at the first time and rushed into the wilderness. As a result, they were stunned to see the amazing battlefield and the huge hole that was shot out by the blade of space. Is it? People's hearts jumped wildly, and immediately someone bypassed the battlefield and sped away to the depths of the wilderness. As a result, countless shocking news spread out quickly. In the wilderness, all the creatures in the whole world were killed. There was no one alive. The whole world was full of blood, just like hell. When the news spread out, it shocked the whole nirvana. At the beginning, Long Chen blocked the gate, but the outside world didn't know what was going on inside. But everyone can see that the gate is sealed by a ray. At first sight, it's the hand of the Terran. Therefore, they dare not attack. With the domineering character of Long Chen, who dares to attack, they really feel like they have a long life. According to their idea, Long Chen must finally negotiate with the strong in the wilderness. Although Long Chen has great strength, the wilderness must have its own card. As long as they don't want to die together, they will stop. Finally, the problem will be solved at the negotiation table. After some bargaining, when both sides can accept it, they will shake hands and make peace. But they never dreamed that Long Chen was so overbearing that he directly killed all the creatures in the wilderness. They were scared. It was too cruel. Go to the uninhabited world. There must be more excitement to watch. Some people left the wilderness for the first time and rushed to the uninhabited world as fast as they could. They've missed a great war, and they can't miss the second one. Kill. When these people arrived at the No Man's World at the first time, the war had already started. Countless strong men were guarding at the gate of the No Man's World. The Dragon Dust and the Dragon Blood army were fighting madly. World-destroying fire lotus, Dragon Dust a break drink, a flame lotus shot out, instantly covered most of the battlefield. Boom! The flame lotus blooms, and countless strong people turn into nothingness in an instant. The terrible high temperature sweeps all the sky. The thunder of the world, Dragon Dust just released the fire lotus, directly transformed the power, a thunderball shot out, burst open. Looking for death, Dragon Dust 2 moves in a row, so that countless uninhabited creatures instantly destroyed. A roar came from the distance. Next came a golden figure, like a flash of lightning. The man was no other than the golden-winged Mears, one of the 8 kings of No Man's World, who had met with Long Chen. It turns out that when Long Chen comes here this time, He is afraid that someone will inform the uninhabited world, so that Xia Chen can directly use the transmission array. In this way, only the Dragon Blood army took the lead, because there were too many people, others could only come later. As Long Chen expected, when Long Chen entered the wilderness, they were ready. However, the wilderness was closed for more than a month, and countless people thought that Long Chen was negotiating with the strong in the wilderness. After a long time, no one began to relax their vigilance. All the strong men returned to seclusion, especially the 8 kings, who are struggling to improve in order to meet the dragon dust. Long Chen killed them all of a sudden without any sign. Before they knew what was going on, they were killed by Long Chen, Yu Zifeng and Guoran. Although there are tens of millions of strong people in the uninhabited world, they have no resistance to the fierce Dragon Blood army. Moreover, the 3 immortal strong men were killed, and the leaderless group of them were in a mess, and they were killed and turned upside down. When the strong man in No Man's World received the signal, he immediately killed him. The king Tianjiao of the golden-winged mirrors, when he saw the dragon dust, his eyes turned red. Boom! His golden wings opened the sky, his mouth open, a golden radiance, carrying the supreme power, shot at the dragon dust. Boom! The void is pierced by the golden divine light, with thousands of waves surging. In the divine light, the airflow of chaos turns, which shows that it has long been rooted in chaos, and the power of chaos in attack is rare. In the face of the peerless strike of the golden-winged mirrors, Long Chen knows that this is its strongest magic power. With his big hand open, the whole arm's stars flow, and the 7 miscanthus star cluster emerges in the palm of his hand, so he greets it. Boom! The golden light bumps into the palm of Long Chen's hand, just like the torrent bumps into the rock. The golden light scatters in the sky and lights up the sky. The power of the 7 stars has become stronger again. It seems that the 9-star body formula is the skill of killing. The more you kill, the more powerful it is. If you want to catch this blow before you enter the wilderness, you must pay a certain price. Now, this blow is not enough. Long Chen looks at the golden divine light surging, the rune is all over the sky, and there is a touch of excitement in his eyes. Before, I hated killing. I was afraid of killing. I was afraid that I would become a cold-killing machine. It's Aunt Gong who wakes me up. The world needs the power of killing. My self-denial also goes against the original intention of the 9-star formula. Fortunately, I wake up, killing is not terrible, just need to know why to kill. Okay, Long Chen felt the endless power of Kunpeng's magic power on his palm, and his eyes became more and more hot. Boom! All of a sudden, Long Chen stops drinking. The wings of the ROC tremble behind him. His big hand pushes against the current. The golden light collapses. The palm of Long Chen pushes against the giant head of the Golden Wing ROC clan. Wang Tianjiao, the king of the golden-winged mirrors, suddenly felt bad. His wings trembled behind him. He whirled around, but his huge body skillfully turned over and avoided the hand of Long Chen. Boom! Dragon dust hit the air with one hand, and the void burst into pieces, leaving a huge hole. Looking at the huge hole above his head, Wang Tianjiao, the king of the golden-winged mirrors, was scared out in a cold sweat. If he didn't escape quickly, he would be seriously injured if he didn't take the palm down. The dragon dust, one palm falls in the air, one foot suddenly kicks down, the vigorous wind surges, that golden wing Dapeng clan's boundary Wang Tianjiao is swept in the wing by 1 foot. Bang! With a bang, the golden feathers were flying and Tianjiao, the king of the golden-winged mirrors, snorted. His wings were almost broken. Tianjiao, the king of the golden-winged mirrors, is surprised and angry. He is a member of the Kunpeng clan. How terrible is his body! And he is the alien of the Kunpeng family, the golden wing vein. The wing is his strongest place. Can't bear the foot of the dragon dust? Kunpeng split the sky. Tianjiao, the king of the golden-winged mirrors, roars. Suddenly his claws go up, grabs the void and tears it. Chi! The sky was torn like paper, a crack, straight to the dragon dust. This is also the most powerful magic power of the Kunpeng clan. Once it is affected by the crack, let alone human beings, even immortal magic soldiers will be torn. Kunpeng split the sky? Then he'll have a dragon dust mending the sky, Long Chen sneers. When the sky cracks in front of him, he grabs the sky on both sides and closes it abruptly. Boom, the magic power of Tianjiao, the king of the golden-winged mirrors, was interrupted. His whole body was shocked and his blood gushed. The first ceremony of the day, dragon dust a break to drink, in the hand 7 Ju sword emerged, to the king Tianjiao of the golden-winged mirrors cut down fiercely. Poof, a huge head, cut off, blood spilled in the sky. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4372 Tianjiao, the king of the golden-winged mirrors, was beheaded. He rushed fast and died fast. He was beheaded before the strong came. No! In the distance came a heart-rending roar, a huge Kunpeng whistling from his father. He watched his son be cut off, and his intention to kill suddenly soared to the sky. Death, the immortal and strong of the golden-winged mirrors, whose whole body qi and blood are ignited in an instant, become crazy in an instant, and directly burn essence and blood in exchange for stronger immortal power. Boom, it has a golden wing, just like the sky knife cut off, immortal gas entangled, the stars are trembling, to dragon dust fierce cut, quite unsuccessful, then benevolence posture. Feel the pain? That's right. Only when you feel pain can you understand awe. Only when you know how to revere, will you respect life, will you not rely on your strength to kill life at will, and will you not easily do things like extermination. Standing on the void, Long Chen coldly looks at the immortal and strong of the golden-winged mirrors. His voice is like the gossips of heaven, surging between heaven and earth. Die, you damned Terran. At this time, the immortal strong man of the golden-winged mirrors is burning with rage and killing intention. Seeing that Long Chen is still talking, the golden-winged mirrors are cut off in the roar. Boom! In the face of the immortal strong men of the golden-winged mirrors, Long Chen didn't dodge. The stars on his big hand moved, and the 7-pointed stars trembled and hit hard. With a loud bang, Long Chen's arm was shocked, the tiger's mouth was cracked, and blood overflowed. The power on the wings covered the sky was terrible, which pushed Long Chen back several steps. With each step, the void behind him was crushed. When the dragon dust retreated to the 7th step, he finally stabilized his figure, and his wings were stiffly blocked. Boom boom. The immortal strong men of the golden-winged mirrors roar and exert themselves crazily. Their golden wings vibrate and the divine radiance flows. They want to crush the dragon dust. But let it how hard, Long Chen in addition to the first step back 7 steps, after like a rock in general, motionless. Long Chen looks at the wound on his palm. As soon as it appears, it heals quickly. He turns his head and looks at the immortal and strong of the golden-winged mirrors. When you exterminated the human race, did you ever think about their anger, pain, and reluctance? Have you ever paid attention to their cries and supplications? Did you have a trace of pity in your heart at that time? You people are just humble creatures. How can you compare with us? The immortal strong man of the golden-winged mirrors roared. Mean. When hearing these 2 words, Long Chen's eyes were cold for a moment, and his killing intention broke out. The temperature of the whole world dropped rapidly, and the color of heaven and earth darkened. Well, if in your eyes, the strong is noble, the weak is humble, and the weak is not qualified to live, then today I will show you what is noble and what is humble. Long Chen's sword eyebrows stand upright, and his anger is ignited for a moment. Suddenly, the star sea turns in the vision behind him, and the 7 stars light up rapidly. The starry sky above the sky seems to cover the whole world at once. Long Chen grabs and pulls hard. Chi, in the scream of the immortal giants of the golden-winged mirrors, the sky-covered golden wings were torn down by the dragon dust. The pain awakened the immortal strong man of the golden-winged mirrors from his anger. One of his wings trembled, and he was about to retreat. Buzz, at the moment he moved, Long Chen also moved, grabbed its other wing and pulled it hard. Chi, the other wing of the immortal strong man of the golden-winged mirrors was torn off by Long Chen. Longchen was so fast that he couldn't even dodge. You know, the wings of Longchen come from the peerless Tianjiao of the golden-winged mirrors. Its other talents are ordinary, and the strongest talent is speed. With the improvement of Longchen's strength, the strongest magic power of the wings is activated, and the speed is far higher than those of the golden-winged mirrors. Buzz, dragon dust tears off its 2 wings and throws them into the chaotic space. Suddenly, his hands are claws, grabbing at the void. He sees 2 dragon claws sticking out and grabbing the immortal claws of the golden-winged mirrors. The human race is humble. Is your Kunping family noble? Let me see if your noble body can block my humble power. Dragon dust roars. The immortal strongman of the golden-winged mirrors screamed in horror and struggled desperately, but his claws were firmly grasped, just like a rooster whose feet had been caught. Poof! Longchen's hands are full of power. In the void, 2 dragon claws pull fiercely. In the eyes of countless people, the immortal and strong of the golden-winged mirrors are torn into 2 pieces. Golden immortal blood essence, scattered in the sky, to the earth covered with a layer of gold powder. The picture is frightening. The gate of the no-man's world is already full of people. They all heard the news and came by the teleportation array for the first time. Some people just arrived and just saw the picture of Longchen holding the immortal strongmen of the golden-winged mirrors. Looking at the gold powder all over the sky, they were shocked. The dragon dust stands on the void, bathed in immortal blood, just like the reincarnation of the 9 heaven-killing god. The killing intention all over his body makes the world tremble. Kill him. At this time, a large number of strong people in the no-man's world came. They saw the picture of the immortal strong people of Longchen's hand tearing the golden-winged Dapeng family. In shock and anger, hundreds of immortal strong people and hundreds of millions of Tianjiao were killed together. Kill! Longchen's eyes turned red when he saw these people coming. He was just ignited by the immortal power of the golden-winged mirrors. Like a meteor, he took the initiative to kill hundreds of millions of troops. Boom boom. Longchen rushes into the group of immortal strongmen in no man's world, and one shot is the most fierce kill, smashing a demon immortal strongman with 1 punch. But the back of his hand was pierced by a sharp blade. It was a 1-horned bone demon. The 1-horned bone demon's head was sharper than the immortal magic weapon. It broke the defense of Longchen. I've got him. I'm going to kill him. The 1-horned bone demon yells, thinking that it has pierced the dragon dust. The evil chi on the 1-horned bone demon can instantly erode the body of the dragon dust, making him unable to move. But no one thought that Longchen's body was pierced and turned fiercely. The slender and long horns of the bone demon were abruptly broken by Longchen. Bang! Longchen hit the 1-horned bone demon's head with 1 punch. The 1-horned bone demon's head was like being curd hit by a sledgehammer, which broke up instantly. He's hurt. Come on. The other immortal and strong men in the no-man's world yell and rush to the dragon dust like a tide. Poof! Longchen pulled out the 1 horn in front of his chest. On the dark horns, there was a cold light, stained with Longchen's blood. The feeling of being hurt is so beautiful. Longchen looks at the 1 horn in his hand and the blood stained on it. At that moment, his voice becomes evil, and the black smell gradually appears in his pupils. Killdragon dust roared, like a 9-day thunderbolt, resounding all over the world. There were a few spots on the 1 man in his hand, stabbing fiercely in front of him. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4373, Boom! With a bang, the horn, which was sharper than immortal magic weapon, flew into the crowd and burst into pieces. Finally, it failed to bear the power of the stars. At the moment when it burst into pieces, the power of the terrible stars involved more than a dozen immortal strong people around them and directly fried them into pieces. Puff, puff, puff. Longchen kills fiercely with the 7-ju sword. His power of stars flows freely. He releases and kills heartily. He tries his best to exchange injuries for injuries and lives for lives. Longchen's physical body is strong. As long as it's not a fatal attack, he doesn't want to hide. Soon, hundreds of wounds have been cut on his body. But Longchen doesn't care. In the chaotic space, Taiyin Wood and Fusang Ancient would have endless vitality, and these wounds will heal in an instant. These hundreds of wounds also cost the lives of dozens of immortal strongmen in the uninhabited world. Long Chen's deadly fighting method makes the strongmen in the uninhabited world heartbroken. They have never seen such a terrible Terran, and they are even more demonic than the devil. At the gate of the no man's land, more and more powerful people are coming to witness this bloody battle. Even the older generation of strong people are numb. That is an immortal strong man. If there is no accident, he can live to the end of time, witness the changes of the years, and laugh at the changes of the situation. However, here, the dragon dust is like chopping animals to kill them, and the bodies of the immortal and strong are falling from the air. The picture is too bloody and terrible. It's like Long Chen is mad. Many enemies don't block their attacks. That's to take advantage of the moment when others attack him and give him a fatal blow. That kind of brave, that kind of reckless posture, who is afraid? Not only Dragon Dust, but also the Dragon Blood Legion, Yu Zifeng, Guoran, Xiaqin, Gu Yang, Li Qi and Song Mingyuan, are all fighting against the immortal strong. Each of them has several lives of the immortal strong. In addition to them, Bai Shishir, Yu Qingxian and Bai Xiaola are also fighting fiercely. Especially Bai Xiaola, who is combined with Zitong Nine-Tailed Fox, is completely crazy. His whole body is covered with blood, and the purple color of his eyes is more and more strange. Every tail, every claw, including teeth and eyes, can release terrorist-killing moves. Up to now, it has killed more than 10 immortal strongmen, and it has killed the most immortal strongmen after Longchen. The most terrifying thing is that the target it kills is selected. Every time it kills the other party, one of its tails will penetrate the crystal nucleus of the other party, as if absorbing some energy. No, what about the 8 kings of no man's world? Some of the spectators could not help saying, "You know, the 8 kings of no man's world are very famous." At the beginning, it was said that anyone could defeat Long Chen. Now it's been such a long time. Why haven't you seen any of them? You came a step late, so you didn't see the king of Kunpeng clan. As soon as he came out, he was directly beheaded by Long Chen. Later in the war, 3 kings appeared. Someone responded. And then, 2 of them were killed by the commander of the Dragon Blood Army. I didn't pay much attention to who killed them, because it was a bit chaotic at that time. And one more? There's another one. It's bad luck. He's smart and takes a group of people to fight in the Dragon Blood Army, hoping to make a sneak attack. As a result, as soon as he rushed in, he was hacked. He didn't see how he died, but he saw blood and flesh flying everywhere. He didn't know who killed him. It's estimated that the Dragon Blood soldiers don't know that the one they cut to death is one of the 8 kings. Is that okay? That man's face is muddled. Is this the so-called 8 kings? It's too cowardly to be beheaded by people as a passerby. Anyway, the 4 men I saw were all chopped to death just after they appeared. I didn't see the other 4. The battlefield was too chaotic. I mainly watched Elder Martial Brother Longchen. Another said, "Can't be, those 4 people also be regarded as passerby cut to death." Someone interjected, and the rest looked at each other. It seemed absurd, but it seemed possible. In such a large-scale war as the strongest in the contemporary era, they can't be a shrinking turtle. Otherwise, how can they mix up in the future? But if you do, you can't even lift a spray? Is that still the 8 kings? However, looking at the Dragon Blood Legion like a tiger, and even some people can take a hard fight from the immortal strong, I think this may be really big. Long Chen rushed to the front, followed by Yu Zifeng, Guoran, Xiaqin, Gu Yang, Li Qi, Song Mingyuan, Bai Shishir, Bai Xiaola and Yu Qingxian. More than 5,000 Dragon Blood soldiers behind them form a killing array and hang them back and forth. They are like meat grinder. Even if the immortal and strong come in, once they are surrounded by the array, they will be hanged if they can't even breathe. This is also why those who intend to attack the Dragon Blood Legion, let the Dragon Dust and others disorderly feet, finally steal chicken can't eat rice. They always thought that the Dragon Blood army was the weakest, but they didn't know that every Dragon Blood soldier was a powerful three-pole supreme, with immortal armor and immortal magic soldiers. They knew how to cooperate with each other to form an array. At the critical moment, their visions were connected, integrated and supported each other. Even without Guoranzai, they can integrate the power of dozens of people and shake the immortal strong. If hundreds of people integrate the power at the same time, even the immortal strong will have to drink bitterness on the spot. That's why many people don't see the four kings, and think they may have died in the chaos. Behind the Dragon Blood Legion, there are millions of disciples of Xinghe sect. They are also fierce, and their visions are the same. They fight together, they will bless each other, and their combat effectiveness is also amazing. Unless the immortal strong come, they are not afraid of anyone. The immortal strong on the battlefield are basically restrained by Long Chen and others. Even if there are fish who have missed the net, there are Dragon Blood legions who can't reach them. Behind the disciples of Xinghe sect are the strong men who fought against the wilderness with Long Chen. They can only pick up the remaining enemies of the disciples of Xinghe sect. When they get here, there are few people. Even if there are, many of them are half dead and lack arms and legs. What they have to do is to mend the sword and clean the battlefield. Only those relatively strong practitioners will join the disciples of Xinghe sect and help fight. Those weaker disciples also have self-knowledge. Since they can't help, they don't make trouble and do their own work well. Boom, all of a sudden, there was a sudden change on the battlefield. Countless strong men in the no man's world suddenly gave up fighting and began to run backward. What's the matter? No, they can't hold on. They start to run away. The immortal and strong also began to withdraw. Boom! Countless strong people in the no man's world finally couldn't hold on and began to flee to the depths of the no man's world. People looked at the back of those people who ran away in a mess and opened their mouths one by one. They couldn't believe their faces. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4374, The Strong Men of No Man's World Have Escaped. People's jaws are about to be startled. When the gate was opened, how powerful the wilderness was, threatening to level the whole nirvana. If the Lord of the Temple hadn't deterred them, I'm afraid they would have done it long ago. But now, without the support of an immortal strong man, Long Chen leads the people to kill, and no one is defeated and runs away. My God, I can't be blind. What do I see? Even if you see it with your own eyes, many people still can't believe it. The life in the no man's world is in full rout, with the posture of falling trees and scattered monkeys. The Dragon Blood army is biting and killing frantically behind. Dean Long Chen, don't chase after the poor. Don't cause any trouble. Seeing that Long Chen and others are biting the enemy, there is a loud reminder from the old man. They're not poor. They're rich. Long Chen didn't respond, but Guoran answered for him. In their eyes, it's not an ordinary war. It's not for profit, but for revenge. Revenge, regardless of the cost. Seeing that Long Chen didn't listen to the dissuasion, some people were in a hurry to inform Lingshao Academy, hoping that the Lord of the Temple would stop him. Because the strong people in the no man's world said that they had their own cards. That's why they didn't dare to come to the no man's world because of the Lord's arrogance. Now Long Chen is putting on a posture of trying to kill all the people. If he really forces nobody, it's very likely that there will be a fight. You know, Long Chen and others are the treasure of the human race and the hope of nirvana. If Long Chen has an accident, it will be a heavy blow to the human race. The human race can't afford that kind of blow. Although many people may not start from the overall situation, they can't let Long Chen die, no matter from the overall situation or the small situation, even for their own sake. If Long Chen dies, they are afraid that they will be finished. Boom boom. The speed of Long Chen is extremely fast and he kills madly. Those immortal strong men become the living targets. Long Chen has killed 7 immortal strong men all the way, while the other immortal strong men are still running away. Boss, there seems to be something wrong. Guoran is beside Long Chen, and Guoran also has Kunping wings behind him. Although it's a fake made from Long Chen's Kunpeng wings, it has a ray blessing, and its speed is only a little slower than Long Chen's. Long Chen doesn't fly with all his strength, but he has to fight at the same time, so Guoran can always follow Long Chen. However, seeing those immortal strong men killed and other immortal strong men still running away, Guoran also noticed something strange. It's definitely not right, but whether it's right or not, just kill. The old man said that in the face of absolute power, any scheme is bullshit. Our absolute strength is stronger than them, and all their stratagems are useless. If their absolute strength is stronger than us, we don't have to bother. I can see that the simpler the way of practice, the better. They must have a backhand. Otherwise, they would have fought with us like the strong men in the wilderness. Anyway, we have our unique skills. Let's see whose unique skills are harder. What's the matter? You don't have confidence in your armor? Long Chen asked. Of course, I'm confident. After the last time, I adjusted the armor rune to increase the upper limit. However, we have been fighting for such a long time. I'm afraid we will lose too much. The guy in the no man's world is obviously stronger than the guy in the wilderness. It's hard to kill him. Guoran said. The strong man in the no man's world is obviously better than the others. With the same cultivation and realm, the creatures here are stronger. Such a terrible battle will consume a lot of people. Guoran is still worried. After all, he is the commander-in-chief and must calculate the overall combat power all the time. He can't put everyone in danger. Don't worry, with me, this war is imperative. No man's world is different from the wild world. It has its own secrets. We need to find out. Long Chen chased him all the way, but later he was thrown away, not because he couldn't keep up with his speed, but because Long Chen didn't dare to follow too closely, so he would be completely out of touch with the Dragon Blood army. If the strong man in no man's world has a terrorist-killing move, it's not used to deal with him, but to deal with the Dragon Blood army, he can't take care of it. After all, the speed of the immortal and strong is amazing. The Dragon Blood soldiers, even if they are running with all their strength, can't match. Boss, isn't this the direction of Chaos Eye? Looking at the direction of the enemy retreat, Guoran suddenly reminded. Guoran takes out the map, and Long Chen takes a look at it. As Guoran said, the direction of their flight is exactly the chaotic eye they fled from. It seems that the secret lies in the Eye of Chaos. Tell brothers not to run too fast and try to adjust their state. There may be a fierce battle later. Long Chen exhorts away. At the beginning, in the Eyes of Chaos, Long Chen felt that something was wrong. Although he stayed in no man's world for a short time, he carefully observed the world. He felt that the chaotic period of the world was scattered but not gathered. He always felt that the chaotic period here was not formed by the world itself. Dragon Dust always thought that it was the source of chaos in this uninhabited world, but when the core of Chaos Eye burst, Dragon Dust found that it was not. This makes Long Chen very puzzled. This problem has been bothering him all the time. Today, when he saw them retreat to the Eye of Chaos, he immediately felt that the secret of no one's world should be in the Eye of Chaos. Soon, the Eye of Chaos is in sight, and Long Chen suddenly starts to fight 12 points. He is the first one to rush past. Here, Long Chen sees the strong people in the no man's world gathering there, as if they are going to fight them to death. Kill. As soon as Dragon Dust arrived, a group of strong men with evil chi were killed. To his surprise, these strong men were just a group of heaven. Although they had strong breath, they could not cause any threat to Dragon Dust. When something goes wrong, there must be a demon. When Long Chen feels something wrong, he bends his finger and shoots out a mini flame lotus. Boom! The flame lotus is only the size of finger belly, but when it falls into the crowd, it devours thousands of miles of space. The hundreds of powerful demons were swallowed by the flames in an instant and turned into ashes. They didn't even have the chance to resist. Guoran and others were stunned. What's the situation? How can they find someone to die on purpose? They don't think it's a boring trick of the strong in no man's world. Boom! Just after Long Chen waved to kill those powerful demons, suddenly the earth swelled up, and the monstrous air appeared in the crack of the ground. Ha, you are dead. The devil is born. You people are waiting for death quietly. No one's strong. See this scene? Crazy laugh. Face is full of ferocious color. Dare to kill my people, I will make you extinct. All of a sudden, a roar came from the earth, and then the earth burst open, and a figure full of evil spirit rushed out. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4375. It was a skinny creature with long red hair and long horns. He was slender and his arms were as thin as bones, as if he could be blown down by a gust of wind. His eyes are red, his tusks are exposed, and his face is as ferocious as a ghost. When he looks at him, he feels that his soul is about to collapse. He was an immortal and strong man with a terrible immortal spirit. However, his breath was countless times stronger than that of the ordinary immortal and strong man. He was not at the same level at all. As soon as he appeared, he saw the dragon dust and the burned remains. Death, the red-haired monster roars and grabs at Longchen with dry hands. The whole space of Longchen collapses suddenly. Buzz, since the red-haired monster appeared, Longchen was ready to fight and cut the seven-Ju sword fiercely. Boom! But what shocked Longchen was that the seven-Ju sword was shattered by the strange power before it cut into the palm of the opponent's hand. Longchen was shocked and the sword broke. The power of the stars on his left hand was flowing, and he hit the opponent's palm with a fist. Bang! Longchen's fists were shocked, blood splashed, scales on his fists burst open, and the whole person seemed to be hit by a meteor, smashing the mountain behind him and rolling out in confusion. How could it be? The red-haired monster, a claw fell, full of thought that dragon dust will be broken into powder, but did not expect, dragon dust just palm injury, his face can't believe. Monsignor, he is not a pure human race. He has real dragon blood essence flowing in his body. No one in the world of immortality to remind the strong loud. I see. No wonder I dare to kill my people. What about the dragon people? You all have to die today. The red-haired monster whistled, like the tail hook of a scorpion, into people's eardrum. Ah! As powerful as dragon blood soldiers, they can't help but utter a scream, and their souls are in great pain. It seems that something in their head is exploded, and the blood in their ears overflows. At that moment, they can't hear anything, and even lose their perception. Behind the dragon blood soldiers are the disciples of Xinghe sect. The dragon blood soldiers can't bear it, and they are even worse. More than 90% of the disciples are shocked and faint. It's a soul attack. Bai Shishi's face changed greatly. This powerful demon just screamed, but almost scattered the soul. Thanks to the disciples of Xingezong, their will is strong enough, otherwise, they will be destroyed. She has never seen such a terrible strong man. Retreat. Longchen makes a quick decision and stops drinking, while he himself, with his Kunping wings trembling behind him, rushes to the red-haired monster. Humble people, dare to be arrogant? Who gave you courage? The red-haired monster, with its eyes full of blood, looks like a bloodthirsty beast, staring at its prey. When he saw the dragon dust coming, a ferocious smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. A pair of withered palms formed a strange seal. His whole body was full of demonic qi, and then the whole sky and earth changed colors. Endless avenue runes were flying, forming a huge shield in front of him. Boom! When Longchen hits the giant shield with one punch, the heaven and the earth tremble and the strong wind roars. The giant shield is cracked by Longchen's one punch, and the spider web cracks spread in all directions. As soon as Longchen's face changed, this is his strongest punch. He can't break the magic defense of the red-haired monster, which also means that he and the red-haired monster are not at the same level at all. He can easily kill other immortal strongmen, but in the face of this red-haired monster, he is far from it. Longchen is surprised. What level of existence is this guy? When Longchen cracked the shield with one blow, the red-haired monster's ferocious smile disappeared instantly, and his pupil shrank into the tip of a needle. It was obvious that Longchen's power was far beyond his estimate. It is reasonable to say that no matter how strong Longchen is, after all, he is just a boy in the realm of the king. In front of this shield, he is just like a mole ant and can't be shaken at all. But the power of Long Chen's fist was beyond his imagination. At that moment, the killing opportunity surged in his eyes. This man can't stay. Buzz, the red-haired monster suddenly made a seal with both hands, and the shield in front of him suddenly rolled backward to form a ball, which immediately wrapped the dragon dust. Even Long Chen didn't respond to the sudden change. This move is too weird and subverts Long Chen's understanding of the technique. Soul-biting sound, the red-haired monster suddenly put his head into the ball, opened his mouth, and let out a piercing scream. The shrieks, such as killing pigs and hanging iron, are as ugly as they can be. Even across the border, people feel that their hair is erect and their soul is like being bitten by ants, so they want to commit suicide. It can be imagined that there is such a terrible feeling outside the border, and in the border, Long Chen directly faces the magic sound attack of the red-haired monster, and the damage he bears is thousands of times that of others. The face of the dragon dust in the border remains unchanged. His hands are sealed and his eyebrows are shining. A divine gate emerges and the divine light falls down to wrap the dragon dust. That gate is the gate of God in Long Chen's Sea of Knowledge. It is also the place where Shengguan Star is located. Long Chen doesn't know how to operate Shengguan Star to attack, but Long Chen can use it to defend. When the sword-like sound wave stabs Long Chen's body, it is blocked by Shen Hui and turned into powder. The red-haired monster's magic sound can't attack Long Chen. At this time, by Xiaola and Purple Pupil Nine-Tail Fox Body, all the comatose Xinghe sect soldiers back directly escape. Before Purple Pupil Nine-Tail Fox, overbearing, invincible, but see the red hair monster, its scared expression changed, heard the dragon dust let retreat, the first to run. Obviously, it can see the terror of this red-haired monster at a glance. It dare not compete with such a monster. For fear of being attacked, it and by Xiaola dare not use space teleportation, which is easy to be interrupted. If the teleportation is interrupted, it is likely to be involved in space turbulence, and that is the end. Bai Xiaola took all the disciples of Xinghe sect to retreat first, and told the other strong people who were still running behind not to come. They had been speeding all the way before, and the speed was too fast for many people to keep up. However, if they can't keep up, they also have the advantage of not keeping up. If they all come, the magic sound of the red-haired monster is a terrifying range attack. Those who are weak will be killed instantly. Boom boom. Within the border, the red-haired monster's demonic sound is surging, as if there are billions of sharp blades spinning back and forth to twist the dragon dust into powder. And the outside world, even the strong in no man's world, can't stand it anymore. Many people are fleeing quickly. Only the immortal strong cannot be affected. Dragon dust opens the door of God to resist the evil sound of the red-haired monster. Meanwhile, a lotus and a thunderball appear quietly in his left and right hands. After a few breaths, the roaring sound of the red-haired monster finally stopped. I don't know if he had exhausted his breath, or if he didn't feel that he could hurt the dragon dust, he gave up. Erase the chance. At the moment when the red-haired monster stopped whistling, Long Chen pushed his hands forward, a lotus and a thunderball fused rapidly and hit the red-haired monster hard. Thunder and fire destroy the world. www. Ninefold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4376. The red hair monster, just about to withdraw its head from the border, hit the red hair monster in the face with the fusion of thunder and fire. Boom! I don't know whether the red-haired monster has been closed for a long time and his reaction has become slow, or whether he is so arrogant that he doesn't think Long Chen can fight back at all. This blow hits him firmly in the face. With a bang, the whole face of the red-haired monster was smashed into a bloody blur, and his face was beyond recognition. How terrible is the thunder and fire strike of Long Chen! If it were any other immortal strong man, he would have died many times. But the red hair monster, whose face was smashed, was not fatal. However, it was hit so hard that it was distracted. Boom! Long Chen took the opportunity to hit the border with a fist, and the border was smashed, and Long Chen got out of trouble in an instant. Death? the red-haired monster roared. His whole face was like a persimmon smashed with bricks. He couldn't see it anymore. His hands closed in front of his chest, and his chest glowed. In a moment, Long Chen's scalp exploded, and he was locked. Buzz, in the roar of the red-haired monster, the evil spirit was quickly put into his body. His chest broke to pieces, revealing his bony skeleton. There was a bulge on his chest just like a horn. The horn glowed and aimed at the dragon dust. Guoran, Long Chen stops drinking. Guoran is ready to cross his sword and stand in front of Long Chen. At the same time, all the dragon blood soldiers summon the dragon blood vision. The loud sound of the dragon's chant resounds through the sky, and the dragon dust also calls out the dragon's blood fighting body. His big hand is pressed on Guoran's back, and his whole body is full of the power of the dragon's blood, without any reservation. All of them flow into Guoran's body. Yamas rushed to heaven, the red-haired monster roared. On his chest horn, a divine light pierced the sky. With the threat of destroying heaven and earth, he shot at Longchen and others. This blow sent out, between heaven and earth, a dead silence. Can't hear a sound, nose is full of the smell of death. Dragon blood cross chop, Guoran is also a roar. His armor absorbed the power of dragon dust, and more than 5,000 dragon blood soldiers gathered into a shot. Boom! At the moment when the two attacks collided, heaven and earth fell into darkness, and then a sesame-sized light spot appeared in the darkness. The light spot magnified rapidly and covered the whole world in an instant. Boom! The earth is torn and the void is divided into two parts. Long Chen and others feel that their bodies are shaking wildly. An irresistible force runs over them. Long Chen even hears the sound of his own bones breaking. Guoran and others are like a gourd rolling on the ground. Even Xiachen, Li Qi, Song Mingyuan, Yu Qingxian and Bai Shishi's defenses are as vulnerable as paper. At the moment when the crowd flew out, they saw a figure standing in front of them, like a rock, motionless, with the power of terror. Boom! Behind the dragon dust, there is a pair of wings covering the sky. The wings are not the wings of Kuanping, but the wings of flame and thunder. They are made by Huolinger and Lei Linger, and only when they work together can they help Long Chen stabilize his body and take on more power. Long Chen can't retreat. He bears most of the pressure alone. Only in this way can the dragon blood soldiers withdraw safely. The red hair monster's strike was too terrible to imagine, but Long Chen and others joined forces to strike, and they were equally sharp. The red hair monster was also shaken backward by the terrible force, and a mouthful of blood gushed out. Obviously, the joint efforts of Long Chen and others also caused him some damage. Buzz, before he recovered from the shock, suddenly a bronze tripod roared in the void and hit him heavily on the head. Poof! With a bang, the head of the red-haired monster was smashed to pieces by the bronze tripod. When we saw this scene, the strong men in the world were scared out of their wits. Long Chen was holding a bronze tripod, and his face turned pale. The thunder and flame wings behind him disappeared. This blow directly exhausted Lei Linger's power. However, he resisted the pressure of terror, seized the opportunity, and smashed the red hair monster's head with Qian Kuan tripod. However, after a successful attack, Long Chen didn't feel excited. On the contrary, his face changed greatly. He yelled and called everyone to escape. Guoran and others were just about to applaud, but they thought they had finally won. When they heard Long Chen's order, they were stunned for a while, and then ran away. Damn Terran boy, where to escape? The red hair monster, whose head is gone, is still alive, and even has the same breath. His voice comes from his body, and with endless killing intention, he chases Long Chen and others. Is this a monster? Guoran was so scared that he screamed. Without his head, he didn't affect the fight at all. What is this? Buzz, all of a sudden, the bronze tripod in Long Chen's hand glowed, and a divine light shot at the red-haired monster. Ooh, the red-haired monster was so scared that he ran away. Bang! As a result, the divine light hit the ground, only stirred up a piece of dust, and had no power. Of course, it's not powerful. Long Chen can't use the heaven and earth tripod to attack. He can only use it as a hammer to hit people. The attack, however, was a mirage of dragon dust. It had no power at all. However, the red-haired monster had just suffered a big loss and was so scared that he quickly dodged it. As a result, he was greatly deceived. And the dragon dust and others took the opportunity to run out of the distance, the red hair monster angry, no to be deceived, a few flashes, catch up again. Red hair monster's speed is extremely fast, as if in the heaven and earth blink, a few breathing to catch up. Buzz, dragon dust holding heaven and earth cauldron, again a golden light, that red hair monster, is a dodge, the result this time, again deceived, that attack is false. Idiot, what are you hiding from? It's such a seedless thing. Dragon dust while galloping at the same time to the red hair monster scold. He scolded, red hair monster surprised and angry, but also suspicious. He thought, dragon dust should have a stronger big move. The first 2 times he was deliberately trying. If he didn't hide, Longchen's big move might really be released. Otherwise, Longchen would not be in a bad mood. That red hair monster, several times approached, several times was scared back by Longchen, every time back, will be ridiculed by Longchen. However, after several times, the red-haired monster finally became suspicious. Was he just bluffing? Ooh, this time, when the dragon dust raised the heaven and earth tripod, the red hair monster did not escape, but rushed straight up. As a result, the magic light of Longchen was still illusory. He snorted coldly, "Cunning Tarandai." The red-haired monster covered the sky like a dome. Poof, all of a sudden, a sword burst out, pierced his palm, interrupted his big move, and it was you, Zifeng. Good job, Zifeng. Longchen exclaimed excitedly that Yu Zifeng's attack was too timely, and the heat was wonderful. Boom! At this moment, the front gate appeared, and all of them rushed through the gate to Nirvana. Damn it, do you think you can escape? That red hair monster unexpectedly also followed to rush out the gate, a fist collapse day, to Longchen etc. hit, a pair of don't kill them, never give up posture. Boom! At the moment of his hand, a black dragon claw pierced the sky and hit his fist. Nirvana is not a place where you can go wild. The overbearing voice of the Lord of the Hall resounded through the sky. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4377 Boom, the dragon's claw fell, and on the fist of the red-haired monster, there was a loud explosion, and the divine light was even more dazzling than the sun. The strong wind blows, and Longchen and others are thrown away. However, Longchen and others are surprised and happy, and finally relieved. You are nothing. You have not been sanctified. You dare to challenge me. The red hair monster, seeing that it was resisted, could not help but be angry. He grabbed it with his claws and flashed to the lord of the palace in the void. The lord of the temple sneered, "My head has been blown up. How arrogant is it? What are you, the red devils?" Boom! In the face of the red hair monster's attack, the lord of the temple resisted with his fists. His fists and claws were opposite, the void exploded, and the rune of the main road flowed. The lord of the temple was shocked back a few steps. Death! The lord's words obviously hit the weakness of the red hair monster. He was furious and his evil spirit was ignited. Boom boom. The red hair monster attacked continuously, and the lord of the temple regressed continuously. At that moment, everyone was nervous. It was a duel between the two strongest in the world. Their victory and defeat decided the rise and fall of the two worlds. The lord of the temple won't be defeated, will he? Guoran's face was nervous. Not only he was nervous, but everyone was nervous. The red-haired monster was so terrible. Its strength was absolutely immortal. They were a hornet's nest. Xiachen, seal the entrance of the no man's world. By the way, you are. Longchen said to Xiachen. Boom, all of a sudden, the lord of the temple, who kept on retreating, suddenly broke off drinking and hit hard with one claw. In the vision behind, a dragon claw that covered the sky merged into one and fought hard with the red hair monster. This time, it turned out that the red hair monster was retreated. What if the body is immortal and the soul is holy? Laozi is the saint. The Lord's breath burst out, as if he were a different person. He was full of chi and blood and ignited the whole world. Guoran and others yelled excitedly. The Lord of the Emotional Palace had deliberately shown weakness before, but now he really showed his strength. Ignorant fool, the soul of the saint, can cross class barriers, control thousands of ways. Strength is not what you can imagine. The red-haired monster roared to kill. I can't imagine that a saint's head was blown up by a king boy. The Lord sneered. You. The red-haired monster's face was twisted, his big hands were open, and 10,000 runes were combined to form a spear, which stabbed the Lord of the Palace. I didn't get hit in the head. Why should I die? Boom, the Lord sneered and smashed his fist on the spear. The spear burst into pieces, and the void was disillusioned. A ripple spread and the sky fell apart, which scared the others to flee further. Shut up, the red-haired monster ran away, and his hands continued to seal. Suddenly, the heaven and the earth trembled, and the evil spirit gushed. A monster with red fur all over, like a lion and a tiger, and wings on its back appeared. As soon as the monster appeared, the red-haired monster disappeared, forming a humanoid rune, which was printed on the red-haired monster's eyebrows. Boom! The roar like a lion and a tiger shook all directions, and there was a terrible crack in the void. The whole world almost collapsed because of this roar. The monster was huge and unrivaled. His belly was above the clouds. At that moment, the terrible pressure was rampant. Even Longchen felt the pain of his soul and had to retreat again. How could he have fused? As like as two peas in the eyes, the red-haired monster's action is exactly the same as that of the Ninefold. It's Hong Mao Xianhao, a warcraft in the Chaos era, and a mortal enemy of our Purple Pupil and Nine-Tailed Fox clan. No wonder I feel numb as soon as I see it. His contract beast is my mortal enemy. Damn, if I can't beat it, I won't let it go. Purple Pupil Nine-Tailed Fox, waving a small claw, a face full of hate is the color of injustice. Old man, why bother me to shut up? Don't you know that I have entered the critical moment? That red-hair day roars to send out to roar, in the voice take anger, interrogate that red-hair monster. I know, but you won't lose anything. See this kid in front of you? Said the red-haired monster. Red Maotian looked down at the earth. When he saw the Lord of the Temple, his huge eyes lit up and his voice trembled. Pure blood dark dragon. How did you find it? No matter how I found him, eating him is better than you being shut up for millions of years. If I hadn't been hurt, I would have swallowed him myself. Now it's cheaper for you. The red-haired monster bit his teeth. He is a member of the Red Devil family. He has a very deep relationship with the Red Maoshenho family. According to the legend, he belongs to the same family. Therefore, they will make contracts and perform the art of fusion. The Red Devils and the Red Maoshenho have a powerful and evil power, which is to strengthen themselves by swallowing the strong. That's why he became a saint in the no man's world, because he broke through after devouring countless strong people. It can be said that he is the king of the no man's world. Before he closed the door, it devoured most of the immortal strong people in the no man's world. After it closed the door, the no man's world began to recuperate. Many people have been afraid to break through the immortality just for fear of being devoured. And after he closed, these creatures dare to break through. Because the red-haired monster closed, no one ushered in a powerful era. The descendants of the red-hair monster have always been the leader of no man's world, but even the descendants of the red-hair monster dare not disturb the red-hair monster in the closed pass. They only dare to kill their own people by the hand of Longchen, and use the resentment formed when the people died to attract the attention of the red-haired monster. In this way, it is equal to the red-hair monster to take the initiative to pass. No wonder other people, otherwise, no one can afford its anger. Because of carelessness, the red-hair monster of the Red Devil clan was smashed in the head by the dragon dust with the heaven and earth cauldron. Although he won't die, his strength is greatly reduced, and his strength can't be exerted. As a last resort, he summoned his own contract warcraft. As a matter of fact, he was reluctant to give up the flesh and blood of the Lord of the Temple, but he couldn't help it. His head was blown up and his strength was greatly damaged. However, he couldn't help it. He could only give it to Hong Mao Xianhao as a favor. Ah, well, in that case, I don't blame you. This dragon boy can save millions of years. Hong Maoshan roared and laughed. His voice reverberated in the universe, and his laughter could be heard in the whole nirvana. Two ignorant idiots. If you don't blow your dog's head today, you will never know what kind of existence the Great Dragon Clan is. The voice of the Lord of the Temple was gloomy and cold. It came from the crack of the teeth. Obviously, their conversation completely angered the Lord of the Temple. Man Long is alive, the Lord of the Temple yelled angrily. Suddenly, his figure disappeared, the 9 days burst apart, and the whole world darkened in an instant. A huge black dragon covered the sky, and his violent blood flooded the sea of stars. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4378. The Lord of the Temple was furious and summoned Numen. He was a dark dragon with the most powerful and mysterious dark power. However, the origin of the Lord of the Temple is mysterious, and few people know what his noumenon is. For example, people like Bai Zhantong who are close to the Lord of the Temple, even if they know his noumenon, have never seen him show his noumenon. Now a dark dragon has covered the sky, and the power of the dark invades the whole world. At that moment, people finally see the true face of the mysterious Lord. The dragon covered the sky. It was too big to see the whole picture. The red hair sky roar was big enough, but in front of the Lord, it looked so small, just like a rabbit facing an elephant. Nianshan is not something that you can do. The Great Dragon Clan is not something that you can profane. The Lord of the Temple drank coldly, his huge body trembled, and the whole world trembled. In the endless dark air, his figure appeared hazy and mysterious, proud and violent. Boom! In the endless darkness, a dragon claw came out of the 9 days and went straight to Red Mao. One claw was 3 times bigger than Red Mao's body. What's the use? Scare people? Look at my magic power. The golden-haired Tianhou is fearless, his back wings are open, and the red-haired Tianhao's whole body is shining, his mouth is open, and a red divine light comes out of his mouth. At the moment of the red light, people found that there was also the power of the red hair monster in this attack, and the power of the two was combined into one. Boom! With a bang, Red Mao Tian roar spits out the divine light and is smashed by the dragon claw. The Red Mao Tian roar is smashed into the earth by the Lord of the Temple, which arouses the earth-shaking waves. They'll go. Can this guy only brag? Guoran could not help shouting. Before, I saw the red hair sky roaring, and the words were bigger than the sky. Everyone thought that this attack might be a contest of absolute strength. As a result, he was slapped by the Lord of the Temple and couldn't catch a move, and the gap was too big. Boom! As soon as the dragon's claws were lifted, the whole earth was lifted. An embarrassed figure was pulled out of the soil. It was the red hair sky roar. At this time, the red hair sky roar was covered with soil, and the red hair became gray. However, it was amazing that after such a terrible blow, the red hair sky roar didn't show any sign of injury, and the body was too terrible. Buzz, with one claw, the Lord of the Hall claps the Red Mao Tian roar into the earth and grabs it out again. Then the roar of the endless darkness and the air of darkness surge rapidly. Then people see a black dragon tail sweeping in. Red Devil Blood Shield, Tianhou Shenfeng. When they saw this attack coming, Red Hair Sky roar and Red Hair Monster screamed at the same time. Obviously, they felt a huge threat, and they both opened their defense at the same time. Buzz, on Hong Mao Xianhao, a blood border and a divine glow shield appear. The border and the light shield fuse rapidly. Obviously, this is their strongest defense. Boom! Their shields had just been set up, and before their breath came out, they were severely hit by the tail of the sky-covering dragon. The border and shield didn't seem to play any role at all. They burst into pieces. The red hair roared and the red hair monster screamed. Boom! 2 figures shot out, hit the ground, hit 2 big holes. Under the combination, it is abruptly broken up. By Xiaola shoulders, purple pupil 9-tail foxa exclamation. You know, under the combination, the 2 are in 1, and their souls are connected with each other. The strike of the Lord of the Temple seems to be a brute force strike, but in fact it must have the power of law, otherwise it will not break up their combination. Boom, all of a sudden, the red-haired monster roared out of the soil and rushed to the gate like a flash of lightning. It didn't even care about the red-haired monster and just wanted to run for its own life. Buzz, he just ran to the gate and thought that he could enter the no man's world directly. As a result, the gate of no man's world suddenly vibrated, and its body somehow stepped back. Who? At this time, a dragon claw came whistling, and the red-hair sky roar instinctively dodged, but it was still a step slow. The dragon claw was a nail, which crossed his head. Poof! Huge power directly smashed its head, its body rolled out. At that moment, everyone was shocked. How did the red-hair sky roar suddenly become weak? Soon, people thought that the red-hair sky roar had been injured before, and the combination skill was interrupted, so the power could not be superposed, so it was the Lord of the Temple who broke his head. Boom! At this time, the red-hair monster didn't know when to drill out of the soil, clapped to the gate of no man's world, and the array arranged by Xiachen exploded. Go, red-hair monster, a grasp has been reduced red-hair day's roar tail, so drag it, a flash into the no man's world. Watching two monsters without heads rush into the uninhabited world and disappear in the gate, people are surprised, funny and shocked. Buzz, at this time, a dragon claw stopped in front of the gate of no man's world. Obviously, the Lord of the Temple's attack was a step late, otherwise they would both die. Outside the gate of the no man's world, there have been countless strong people watching. They saw the Lord of the Temple personally kill the strong enemy and run away. People were shocked. The Lord of the Temple was hiding too deep. His strength is like a bottomless pit. The stronger the enemy is, the stronger he will be. It seems that there is no limit. Red Hair Monster, whose head was broken by Dean Longchen, and Red Hair Tianhao's head was broken by the Lord of the Hall. Is this the tradition of Lingshao Academy? Some people can't help sighing. It's a joke, but no one thinks it's funny. They all know that it's a way to express their inner shock. How terrible are the Red Hair Monster and the Red Hair Sky Roar? Two guys were smashed in the head. How terrible these two people are. If the Lord of the Temple is terrible, after all, his accomplishments are there, and he is the legendary Dark Dragon, which is reasonable. And Long Chen, who just entered the realm of the king, smashed the head of such a terrible monster. It's so abnormal. Ninefold guys, you wait. This revenge must be avenged by benching. In no man's land, there came the yelling of the red-haired monster. Obviously, the red-hair monster is very unconvinced. Put down his cruel words. It seems that he will fight to the death again with the Lord of the Temple in the future. However, people don't feel fear. It's not a coincidence that the Lord of the Temple beat them, but the strength of the two sides. The gap between the two sides is not a bit. Everyone can see that the Lord of the Temple beat them just like beating children. This threat is meaningless. Thank you, little brother. I almost failed to break his head. I didn't expect that this guy was too seedless to escape so soon. The dark air disappeared, and the sky and the earth were clear again. The Lord of the Hall stood in front of Long Chen and others and told Xiachen, if there is no Xiachen's array to stop it for a while, the Red Hair Sky Roar will be the first to escape, and the Lord of the Temple will not have a chance to knock it on the head. Lord, why do you want to show mercy? Long Chen looks at the Lord of the Temple and can't help but ask. This question of Long Chen makes all the people present stunned. He looks at the Lord of the Temple in shock. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4379. With Mercy? Everyone was startled. Did the Lord show mercy? Why didn't they see it? Winning is not fighting. The Lord of the Hall shook his head and disappeared in a flash, leaving many strong people in a daze. What's the point? That guy wants to step down our Nyang heaven. How can the Lord of the Temple let him go like this? Some people can't help saying. They didn't see that the Lord of the Temple kept his hand, but he admitted it himself, which showed that he had a chance to kill the Red Hair Monster and Red Hair Tianhao, but he gave up. All of a sudden, the Terran strongmen don't understand. They are the enemy. Why should they let him go? Maybe the Lord of the Temple has his own pride. The head of the red-haired creature is gone, and his strength is greatly damaged. The Lord of the Temple disdains to kill it. Someone explained. But it's not a formal contest, it's about the future of the human race. When the red-haired monster comes to Nirvana, who can resist it except the Lord of the Temple? If the Lord of the Temple doesn't do it in time, I don't know how many people will die in his hands. It's too irresponsible for the Lord of the Temple. Some people can't help complaining. Many people also nodded. The Lord of the Temple was too playful. He gave up when he had a chance to kill him. This is tantamount to putting the Terran in danger. If the red hair monster and the red hair sky roar match perfectly next time and defeat the Lord of the Temple, the human race of Neningshan will suffer. At that time, it's not one or two people who will die, but countless human races will be destroyed. There are more and more complaints. We all think that the Lord of the Temple has gone too far. How can he put the whole human race in danger for his reputation? Ladies and gentlemen, if you have the time to complain, it's better to practice hard. If you have the ability, you can deal with the red-haired monster by yourself instead of kidnapping others by morality. Long Chen cheers coldly. Hearing these people's complaints, Long Chen couldn't listen anymore, and his face became gloomy. Dean Long Chen, what you said is a little hard to hear, isn't it? You have the strength, the Terran has become your speech? Do others have no right to speak? There is a half-step immortal class strong cannot help but yin-yang strange way. Long Chen's words, originally very sharp, let those who complain, like a slap in the face, very uncomfortable. Now some people come out to fight against Long Chen, and suddenly some people come out and say, that is, let's talk about the matter. Don't you even allow others to talk about the truth? The stronger the ability is, the greater the responsibility will be. The Lord of the Temple should take his own responsibility. How can we do that? It's all bullshit to be of the same race and ancestry. The world power is the king. Whoever has a big fist is the ancestor. But some people, before they become king, have already begun to put on the airs of the emperor, and even others are not allowed to speak? Guoran and others were furious when they saw that some people talked more and more excessively. These people didn't have their own strength, but their mouths were vicious, and they had great ability to fan the wind and ignite the fire. What? Do you still want to kill us? We can't live without you, can we? We respect the strong in this world. We can also respect the strong of other nationalities. Who do we mix with or not? An old man stood up and sneered. You are so brazen that you have lost the dignity of your ancestors. Xia Chen was so angry that he wanted a seal script to beat the old man to death. If you don't have the guts, you can say it. Needless to say, this guy must be the first to betray the Terran when fighting against the alien race. I'm shameless. What's the matter? You don't even want us to talk or reason. What's the difference between us and slaves? We can take refuge in you and others. Whoever gives us benefits and dignity, we will mix with. This is our freedom. Can you manage it? The old man sneered, a dead pig is not afraid of hot water posture. Don't think that if you have destroyed the wilderness, you have done more than heaven. I tell you that you have offended them by destroying them. In the future, you will be responsible for their revenge, and everyone who will die will be your sin. One sneered. Buzz, all of a sudden, Long Chen's big hand opened. At the same time, dozens of old people exclaimed, and they could not help but float to Long Chen. What are you going to do, to kill people? The people cried out in horror. Come and see, Long Chen wants to be a tyrant. Anyone who dares to disobey him will die. Come and see his face. A half-step immortal strong man roared. Poof! The dragon dust shoots out with the wind and penetrates his head. His scream stops suddenly. Buzz, at the moment when the old man's head was smashed, countless pictures appeared in the void. Those pictures were all pictures of his conspiracy with the living beings in the no man's world. It turns out that he is responsible for inspiring people in Ninengshan, saying bad things about Longchen and good things about the uninhabited world behind his back, and encouraging more forces to take refuge in the uninhabited world. Frankly speaking, he is the caretaker of the uninhabited world. There are some pictures of him kneeling down in front of the strong people of different races in the no man's world and kowtowing. When he saw these scenes, countless strong people were angry and feeling that this guy was a supervillain. Many people had been incited by him before. When the old man was killed, dozens of other old men's faces changed greatly and their eyes were full of panic. Long Chen looked at them and sneered, "Play moral kidnapping with me? As long as I have no morality, you can't kidnap me. I'm not bound by fame and wealth. You're useless to me. I don't think I can do anything to you in order to build a good reputation. You are wrong. I, Long Chen, always act according to my heart and do whatever I want." Poof! When Long Chen finished, another wind broke through an old man's head. The old man's head burst open, and then the power of the soul burst out, and countless pictures appeared. Like the old man before him, he also took countless advantages to help other people, but the difference is that he helped the wilderness. When the great wilderness was destroyed, he was terrified that he would be punished in the autumn. At this time, he jumped out and did the opposite. He wanted to muddy the water and protect himself. It's a pity that he met Long Chen. Long Chen won't change his principles because of the pressure of public opinion. These half-step immortal strong men are all high-level people, but although their accomplishments are high, their real strength is not worth the same. They all depend on an old face to earn a living. The realm is used to scare people. In front of Long Chen, their soul defense is just a joke. They can search the soul directly, and all their identities are exposed all at once. Dean Long Chen, don't kill me. We are all forced. There are old people in my family and small people in my family. Some strong people kneel down to beg for mercy, crying. Puff, puff, puff. With a cold hum and a wave of his hand, dozens of strong men are killed at the same time. Countless pictures emerge in the void. They are all traitors who have been bought. When Long Chen's fierce eyes, looking at other strong, those strong suddenly nervous tension, cold sweat wet clothes. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 43. Long Chen's eyes are as sharp as a knife. When he sweeps through the crowd, many people are ashamed and dare not look at Long Chen's eyes. Long Chen killed these strong men, which shocked countless people, especially those who thought that Long Chen would be under the pressure of public opinion and dare not do anything to them. Long Chen said coldly, "I know that many of you are bribed to help foreigners. Yes, everyone has the freedom to choose his own way of life and the right to pursue a better life. But there is a prerequisite, that is, your freedom and rights cannot be based on the suffering of others. To sell others as a bargaining chip, in exchange for benefits, causing other people to lose their property, ruin their families, do you really think that you can be lawless if you join a foreign race? You have a dream. If you do something thoughtless, you will do it. But if you do something immoral, I tell you, you will pay the price of bleeding." Long Chen's words are cold and heartless, just like the justice trial, which makes those strong people who secretly collude with other races cold. Those who use the alien race to persecute their own race and harm the interests of the human race in order to please the alien race will be tried. The Law Enforcement Hall of Lingshao Academy will unite with the major departments to form an alliance to clean up the traitors and work out the accounts with them. We all supervise each other. I believe that traitors are in the minority after all. If anyone dares to escape and attack in groups, there will be no amnesty for killing them. Long Chen cheers coldly. As soon as Long Chen's words came out, countless strong people on the scene cheered, and the whole scene was boiling. You know, traitors are the most hateful. When the enemy is powerful, traitors are arrogant and domineering, persecute their peers, spread rumors and shake people's hearts. But people do not dare to offend them, because no one knows the fate of the world in the future, and they dare not stand in line rashly. Now, they are being liquidated, and suddenly countless people come out and beat the dogs. Directly, some people pointed at some people on the spot and called them traitors and running dogs. Some people even wanted to chop them to death. However, Long Chen said that these people have to go through trial. They can't retaliate indiscriminately. They are afraid that some people will take revenge for themselves, wronging good people and creating unjust cases. The people who were pointed out were all dejected and did not dare to say anything. They gave up their resistance on the spot and knelt down on the ground with the appearance of repentance. However, no one pities them, because they are arrogant and domineering. When they persecute others, they have never pitied others. At the same time, all the major forces passed on the news as quickly as possible, ordering their own forces to go out and watch the rebellious clans and families, so as not to let them run away. Traitors, after all, account for a very low proportion. There are only 3 or 2 forces in 100 or so sections. Most of them are very principled, while a few others are watching. Only a group of brainless guys will stand in line rashly for the sake of small profits when they can't see the signs. Traitors are all 1 in 100. 99 forces, staring at 1 force, want to escape. It's just a dream. It's a long and complicated process to deal with traitors. Long Chen won't take part in it. He believes Lingshao Academy will handle it well. Long Chen waited until the chaos at the scene gradually subsided and said in a loud voice, "I have a few words to say about the merciful things of the Lord." When the dragon dust voice together, the strong suddenly quiet down. They also want to listen to the dragon dust's view. Long Chen said, "Someone said before that the stronger the strength, the greater the responsibility. I hate this sentence. It's pure moral kidnapping. If this sentence is said by the Lord himself, it's no problem, but when others say it, the taste will change." First, the Lord of the Temple fights the red hair monster fiercely. He has the right to kill him and release him. We have no reason and no right to criticize him. He is powerful because of his own efforts, not what we give him. Why do we ask him to do what we want? The strong people on the scene were speechless, but anyway, the Lord of the Temple was merciful, and people were very uncomfortable. Second, the Lord of the Temple is not a human race. You should not try to figure out his thoughts from the perspective of the human race. As a matter of fact, for the arrogant dragon people, our human race is no different from those alien races, or even worse than those alien races. At least the alien races are united at the critical moment, while we are. Long Chen looks at those despondent traitors, and a touch of sarcasm appears in his mouth. When Long Chen said this, people remembered that the Lord of the Temple was not a human race. Why should he think about the human race? When you see those traitors, everyone feels extremely ashamed. Yes, maybe in the eyes of the Lord of the Temple, the Terran is the one he hates most. It's a matter of human feelings for others to make a move, but it's their duty not to make a move. Before, people questioned the Lord of the Temple that it was really a moral kidnapping. They didn't know how to be grateful, but they were resentful. Now it's embarrassing to think about it. Through Long Chen's words, people's resentment towards the Lord of the Temple was completely dispelled. On the contrary, they felt that they should not have complained before. Dean Long Chen, we are too stupid and ignorant to offend the Lord of the Temple. Please go back to help us apologize to the Lord of the Temple. An old man came forward with a look of shame. Long Chen shook his head and said, "I don't need to apologize. I believe the Lord of the Temple has already seen through these. That's why when he left, there was neither explanation nor any emotional fluctuation." Long Chen said so, the presence of the strong more ashamed, for a time, do not know what to say. It seems that nobody's world can stop for a while. We can practice at ease. Let's get rid of the traitors first. It can also be regarded as a warning to others, to let some people know what can be done, what cannot be done, what is the bottom line of life, and some things are absolutely untouchable. When Long Chen finished, he left with the others. Those traitors, Long Chen, don't need to worry. Naturally, someone will send them to Lingshao Academy. It's not Lingshao Academy that judges them, but some powerful people who are highly respected and upright and elected by various forces. Long Chen and others have experienced a fierce war, which consumes a lot. Especially when they face the red hair monster, they are under great pressure and their souls are injured. They need to cultivate quickly, otherwise they may cause irreversible damage. When they returned to Lingshao Academy, they were exhausted one by one. Without the previous excitement, the spirit of the Dragon Blood army was defeated by the red hair monster. The monster was too strong. As soon as Long Chen and others returned to the academy, someone came to report, Dean Long Chen, just received the news, let you rush back to Minghao Tian General Hospital as soon as possible. What happened to the General Hospital? Long Chen was surprised. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4381 Lord of the Temple. When Long Chen comes to the Lord of the Hall, he finds that he is packing his bags and collecting the things used for cultivation in the hall. When Long Chen arrives, the hall will almost be empty. You're back. I thought you were going to tangle with those boring guys for a long time. It's good. I don't need to urge you to get ready. We're going to start. You don't have time to heal. The Lord of the Hall nodded when he saw Long Chen. What happened to the General Hospital? Are we in such a hurry to go back? Long Chen can't help asking. I'm not sure about the details. It seems that it has something to do with the people of your generation. It's said that there are 18 gates opened in the General Hospital. The situation is much more chaotic than here. The Lord of the Temple said as he was packing. 18 gates. Long Chen was startled. After leaving Minghao, he never cared about the General Hospital again. He never thought that there were only 2 gates in Nirvana, but there were 18 gates in Minghao Tian. What would Minghao Tian do? At the same time, Long Chen's heart moved from Minghao Yen to Xianshan, and now to Niangshan. These worlds are more and more powerful. Before, Long Chen didn't know why the headquarters of Lingxiao Academy was in Minghao Yen, not in Niangshan. At this time, Long Chen seemed to understand something. Long Chen has always thought that Nirvana is the core of the world. It seems that his thinking is too simple. Some things are not as simple as they seem. Lord, if you leave, what about the red-haired monster? If it comes out to seek revenge, no one in our college can stop it. Long Chen can't help but say, don't worry, then that golden Tianho have been smashed. They haven't been for 3 or 5 years. Don't try to recover. What's more, we leave in secret. It doesn't know. In addition, even if it knows, it doesn't matter. I'm not the only one who can kill it in the academy. The Lord of the Temple smiles. Long Chen was surprised. Listening to the tone of the Lord of the Temple, there are some terrible strong people in the academy, which even he didn't know. It's too deep. Hurry back and pack up. You'll be on your way soon. This time, it's the order of the Master Jinyuan himself. Don't delay. The Lord is serious. Listening to the tone of the Lord of the Temple, I have great respect for the mysterious old man sweeping the floor. The Lord of the Temple, who has never paid attention to anyone, dare not show any disrespect to the Lord of the Pure Courtyard. Hearing that there are arrangements here, Long Chen is relieved. He doesn't need to ask any more. He goes back to his residence and asks everyone to pack up. In the academy, each dragon blood soldier has his own independent courtyard. There are things he usually uses for cultivation in the courtyard, which need to be cleaned up. Guoran and Xiaqin, in particular, have the most and complicated things. Moreover, they can't ask others to help them. Otherwise, they will be crazy if some things are in a mess. Fortunately, after Long Chen received the news, he directly asked the people to prepare. When Long Chen came back from the Lord of the Temple, he saw that the people were almost ready. When the Lord of the Hall comes, the Dragon Blood Army has been assembled. The Lord of the Hall looks at the uniformed Dragon Blood soldiers with a look of appreciation in his eyes. What he appreciated was not the efficiency of the Dragon Blood Corps, nor their uniform actions, but the fact that they had just experienced a life and death war. They were tired on their faces, and many of them were injured, but their eyes were always full of sharp brilliance. Even in a weak state, their will to fight remains unchanged, as if their instinct to fight has been portrayed in the depths of their souls. As long as people do not die, they will never give up fighting. They followed the Lord of the Temple, along a secret passage, to the deep underground of the academy, where there was a transmission array. The formation was built on the foundation stone. The people stood on the formation. The Lord of the Temple started the formation and the foundation stone lit up slowly. However, after waiting for a long time, the people didn't feel anything and couldn't help looking at each other. Don't be confused. It's a trans-day transmission. It takes a certain amount of time, at least an hour or so, before there will be a response. Just wait quietly. The Lord of the Temple is humane. They just relaxed their tight nerves. They heard that they couldn't transmit in a short time, so they just started to heal here. Lord, what is the cost of this trans-heaven transmission? Xiachen can't help but say that he is very curious. He is not qualified to contact the cross-sky array at present. The consumption is Qi-yun, the Lord replied. They heard for the first time that Qi-yun, an ethereal thing, could be used as energy. Lord, let me ask you something. Don't be angry. Long Chen suddenly asked. The Lord of the Temple was stunned. You say? Long Chen said with a smile, they all say that you are too precious to talk, but it seems that when you come into contact with you, it's different from the rumor. Listen to Long Chen suddenly asked such a topic. Bai Shishir kept winking at Long Chen. How can such a serious person as the Lord of the Temple make a joke? But Long Chen pretended that he couldn't see Bai Shir's eyes. He finished his words and made Bai Shir angry. The Lord of the Temple was dumbfounded and said, Who told you that I was so precious? Oh, come to think of it, it must be the fool of the White Exhibition Hall. Hearing that the Lord of the Temple said that Bai Zhantong was a fool, Bai Shishir and Bai Xiaolo were embarrassed, but they didn't dare to refute. After all, their father was the deputy Lord of the Temple, and the Lord of the Temple was qualified to say so. This guy said something to him, just like casting pearls before swine, so I didn't want to talk to him. Maybe as time goes by, he thinks that I'm sparing words like gold. In addition, I don't like to talk at ordinary times, because people can't understand what I say. What can I say? However, you are different. From you, I can see the shadow of my youth, see the appearance of my blood brothers, and think of the years when we fought together. The Lord of the Hall sighed. What about your brothers? Guoran is straightforward and asks directly. As soon as he opens his mouth, Long Chen feels bad, but this guy talks too fast for him to stop. Sure enough, a touch of pain appeared in the Lord's eyes. Dead, all dead, I'm left alone. If it wasn't for Lord Jingyuan, I would have died long ago. From Guoran's mouth, Long Chen knew the result. With such a lonely personality as the Lord of the Temple, his experience could be calculated. However, what Long Chen didn't expect was that the Lord of the Palace saved his life. No wonder the Lord of the Palace respected him so much. With the reply of the Lord, the atmosphere suddenly became dignified. Guoran was a little embarrassed and hated that he didn't speak in his head. Long Chen quickly opens his mouth and digs off the topic. Lord, is that red-haired monster immortal or above? Hearing such a question from Long Chen, everyone immediately came to the spirit and listened. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4382. The Dragon Blood soldiers took part in the battle against the Red Hair Monster. Before, the Dragon Blood army swept the wilderness. The mysterious veil of those immortal strongmen was uncovered, and the Dragon Blood soldiers found that the so-called immortal strongmen were just like this. If dozens of ordinary Dragon Blood soldiers join forces, they can resist the attack of the immortal strong. If hundreds of them join forces, they have a chance to kill the immortal strong. Gu Yang, Li Qi, Song Mingyuan, Yu Zifeng, the leaders of the four major armies, Guoran and Xiachen were all able to independently kill the immortal strong. You know, they are all new kings. They can kill the immortal strong. This battle has made the morale of the Dragon Blood soldiers unprecedented and even expanded. But when the red hair monster appeared, it suddenly exploded the hearts of the people. They finally understood that there was something they could not match in the immortal world. But the breath of the red-haired monster is obviously the breath of the immortal strong. But how can it be so strong and abnormal? Ordinary immortal strong people are no different from mole ants in front of them, and the gap is too big. Therefore, when Long Chen asked this question, everyone listened attentively, and they also wanted to know what existence it was. The Lord of the Temple pondered for a while and said, "You are a little difficult for me. In fact, I don't know much about the realm. Moreover, the realm of practice of my dragon people is different from that of other people. I can't explain it with my understanding. However, according to the realm of the human race, The immortal realm is actually the same as the divine realm, which is also divided into 3 parts. The realm of God is divided into the human race, the earth, and the heaven. However, the distinction between the immortal realm is somewhat vague. The first realm is called the immortal realm, but this immortal realm only refers to the body. The body resonates with the way of heaven. If it is not destroyed by external forces, it can live with heaven and earth in theory. Heaven and earth are immortal, and the body is immortal. Immortality, in fact, refers to immortality. It's not what you understand. The body is invincible and immortal. Once the body is destroyed, the law of immortality will also be destroyed. It will also be eroded by time, and it will also rot, but it will be kept for a longer time. The first realm of immortality is generally called immortality. The power of immortality is mainly concentrated on the body. The second realm of immortality is based on the body to a certain extent, to drain all the immortal power of the body, to light the fire of the soul, and to make the fire of the soul last forever. Such people are called saints. Hearing this, Long Chen and others suddenly realized that it was no wonder that the red-haired monster had always called himself Benxing. It turned out that he was in the immortal second realm. The red-haired monster has just broken through the second realm. The immortal power of the body is dedicated to the soul, so you can see that its body is like a mummy. Physical immortality is the first step and the first step. If you want to step on the second step, you need to sacrifice the first step. However, the immortal power of its body can be restored. However, it was awakened by you while it was still closed. That's why you can blow its head so easily. If its body recovers, its head won't be so easy to blow. The Lord of the Hall looks at the dragon dust road. It's all luck, shame. Long Chen is afraid of the tunnel. He didn't expect that there was such a terrible guy hidden in the no-man's world. He thought that the no-man's world, like the wilderness, could be swept away. It has just been promoted to the saint, and the physical body has not been restored. The physical body cannot exert its power. It can only use the power of the soul. That's why, although he is a demon, he is just like the Terran to seal and attack with magic. The magic attack is not its strong point. His strong point is the magic power, but his body is weak, so the magic power can't be used. Therefore, the saint we met is just a half-hanging saint. Even if it is fit, it still can't exert its strength. Therefore, I don't want to kill it. Originally, I wanted to raise it for a period of time. I went to the no-man's world to meet it. At that time, it would not be suppressed by the purple sun. It would fight fairly and let it pay the price of desecrating the dragon clan. It's a pity that Master Jinyuan didn't dare to delay the arrival of his letters, so he had to leave. To tell you the truth, I'm a little sorry. I just slapped them to death at that time. I don't know if I have a chance to teach them a lesson after I leave. The Lord of the Temple was a little remorseful. At this time, the Lord of the Temple didn't have the airs of the Lord of the Temple, just like an old brother, whining. On the contrary, it made people feel very kind. They were both funny and surprised. Listening to the tone of the Lord, even the red hair monster and red hair sky roar in their heyday, he had the confidence to defeat them. The Lord was too strong and felt that he was not as strong as the bottom line. Lord, do you mean that even if he is a saint, he is the weakest of the saints? Asked Xiaqin. It should be. After all, it has just exhausted the immortal power of the body before it ignites the immortal fire of the soul. There's no time to consolidate the realm, and there's no time to recover the body. Otherwise, there's no time for you to escape from the no-man's world. I have to go into the no-man's world to save you. The Lord of the Temple is humane. The words of the Lord of the Temple moved everyone. It is obvious that every move of Longchen is under the control of the Lord of the Temple. He has been secretly escorting them. So, the next time you encounter this kind of saint-level existence, you can run as far as you can. After all, the realm is too poor, and it's not a shame. The Lord of the Temple said solemnly, after the immortal fire of the soul is ignited, the Holy One has great power of the soul. As you can see, the demons are not good at magic, so they can gather such powerful moves. If it does not damage its body and uses its best magic power, supplemented by the power of immortal soul, even if you work together, it will not be able to resist the blow of destroying heaven and earth. Most importantly, once the immortal fire of the soul is ignited, it becomes a saint who has almost no fatal weakness. Even if the body is completely destroyed, because the immortal soul, whether it is lost or reborn, can quickly reach the peak state. Even sometimes, because of their limited health, they will take the initiative to find the target. In their eyes, Longchen, you are the most attractive fat. You must be careful. The Lord reminded me. Longchen's heart is awe-inspiring. No wonder the red-haired monster's head is blown out, but it has no influence. After the feeling is sanctified, the body can't cause fatal damage to them. How can we deal with them? Longchen can't help asking. The Lord of the Temple shook his head and said, I don't understand. Anyway, if I want to kill the saint, I can only use the dark magic power. But if I can defeat it, I'm sure, but whether I can kill it is still unknown. Longchen hesitated for a moment and just wanted to ask what is the third realm of immortality, that is, the realm above the saints. Buzz, all of a sudden, the big array suddenly lit up, and people quickly converged and stopped talking. Then a vast force of space enveloped everyone. Under the distortion of space, everyone disappeared in an instant. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4383, Buzz, Longchen and others felt that their heads were drowsy, and then they fell asleep. I don't know how long later, the feeling of drowsiness disappeared, and Longchen was the first one to wake up from the deep sleep. Then other people wake up one after another, and they all look at the surrounding situation blankly. The feeling just now is too strange. When they wake up, they find that they have recovered a lot. Longchen can't help asking, Lord, how long have we been sleeping? 3 days. Because of the emergency, I adjusted the transmission time from half a month to 3 days. That's why you fell asleep. However, if you are not injured, we can complete the transmission in half a day. Well, now we have arrived at the Ming Hao Tian General Hospital. Let's move our muscles and bones, get rid of the transmission state, and get used to it. The Lord of the Temple is humane. When they began to move their muscles and bones, they found that they seemed to be in the water, and their bodies were numb. The power of the transmission array had not completely dissipated. After a while, the body returned to normal. Under the leadership of the Lord of the Temple, the people stepped down from the battle. Kaka kaka. Suddenly a door slowly opened, and 3 middle-aged men, whom Longchen had never seen before, appeared in front of the crowd. The 3 people who met the Lord saluted the Lord at the same time. To the shock of Longchen and others, the 3 men, dressed in the costumes of the Temple of War God, turned out to be immortal. You know, the Lord of the Temple stepped into immortality because the gate of the alien world opened this time, and the 3 men in front of him also stepped into immortality. The Lord nodded and said, Where's the Dean? President, I've been waiting for the Lord and President Longchen in the hall, please. A middle-aged man said. With these words, the 3 lead the way in front, and the others follow. Guoran looks at the back of the 3. His eyes turn around, and he looks at Longchen several times. Longchen stares at him. Longchen has already seen that these 3 people are also the strong ones of the Dragon Clan, but they are not in the dark. Guoran can't keep a secret in his heart, so he has to communicate with the soul of Longchen. But there are 4 immortal levels in front of him. With the power of Guoran's soul, he can be heard. It's very impolite to talk about others behind his back. People along the passage, after 3 thick stone gate, in front of the light, went out of the passage, see the world in front of them. Longchen and others were shocked. The world in front of us is desolate. There are ruins everywhere. There is a smell of decay everywhere. The smell of decay, like poison gas, invades people's bodies. It's very uncomfortable. The dragon blood soldiers can't help shivering. The environment here is a little uncomfortable. You've all been hurt. It will be more painful under the invasion of this kind of putrefaction, but don't worry, it's not fatal. Before the door of chaos is opened, This is another road to advanced immortality. Although it is rugged and difficult to walk, it is not much worse than the smooth road. The Lord explained, "Activate immortality with decay?" Long Chen Alung casually asks away. Long Chen's question immediately moved the three middle-aged people and surprised them. One of them praised him. "It's no wonder that you can become the dean of Lingshao Academy at a young age. This understanding is admirable. Before you were rude, please don't blame Long Chen." After that, the man gave a fist to Long Chen. It turned out that these three people were all masters of the Temple of War God. From the Lord to every disciple of the Temple of War God, almost all of them had a strange temper, and everyone was very proud. These three men are immortal and strong. Naturally, they don't pay attention to the king of the world. Although they have heard of the name of Long Chen, they always feel that Long Chen can reach this position only because of luck. Therefore, when they met them just now, they only saluted the Lord of the Temple and did not look at Long Chen and others. It's not that they despise Long Chen, but the tenet of the Temple of War God is to respect your strength. If you want me to respect you, you need something worthy of my respect. Otherwise, it's not enough just to have the title of dean. They have been here for hundreds of years before they realized the law here. They use the decadent power to erode the flesh, activate the instinct of life to fight, and thus produce the immortal power to cross the barriers and advance to the level of immortality. And Long Chen didn't reach that height at all, and he couldn't touch that kind of feeling. But in a word, he pointed out the nature of the way of heaven here, and shocked the three people. He immediately put away his contempt for Long Chen and apologized for his rudeness. Long Chen hastens to return the salute with a fist. He can see that the three guys are very proud. However, people have the capital to be proud, and Long Chen will never be despised by others and feel angry. After all, people with a strong heart never care about other people's opinions. Only people with a weak heart need praise and praise from others at any time. After being despised by others, they cannot find a sense of existence, but will feel angry. You've been in the academy for too long. Your bodies are going to rust and your senses are numb. The strength of President Long Chen is not under you. If you have a chance, you can have a fight. The Lord of the Temple is very kind to the three people. The three people were surprised. They couldn't believe that they looked at Long Chen. They believed that the Lord of the Temple wouldn't make a joke, but they couldn't believe that Long Chen had the strength to fight against them. Then he said to Long Chen, "All three of them are strong members of our dragon family. They are just like you. They are all hardworking people. Their lives are all killed from the sea of blood, and they are all real strong men. However, in Lingshao Academy, you eat too much Taiping food and your spiritual sense degenerates. Therefore, you will be confused by your appearance and can't see your depth." However, their instinct did not disappear. They were just sleeping. After several wars, their instinct would wake up when they saw the blood. At that time, he. The Lord of the Temple laughed and didn't say much. It's obvious that the Lord of the Temple is a battle maniac. He always has an extreme thirst for fighting. Seeing that the Lord of the Temple is so enthusiastic about Long Chen, they obviously treat Long Chen differently. After following the Lord of the Temple for so many years, they see the Lord of the Temple for the first time, and they can talk so much with others at one time. Dean Long Chen, I'm really out of sight. If I have a chance, I'm sure I'll learn from you. Please give me your advice. One of them paid homage to Long Chen, but his eyes were full of fighting spirit. It was obvious that all the people in the Hall of God of War were fighting madmen. Long Chen doesn't want to compete with others. To tell you the truth, he hates competition, especially when it's over. It's against his instinct to fight. He's afraid that more competition will affect his state. Long Chen doesn't know how to do it easily. Once he does it, it means that it will be a life and death war. The purpose of doing it is not to defeat the other side, but to kill the other side in the simplest and quickest way. Dragon Dust just to refuse. Suddenly in front of a dilapidated hall appeared. Through the dilapidated door, there are hundreds of people waiting for them. When I saw these hundreds of people, even Long Chen, I couldn't help taking a breath of air. Good. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4384. What shocked Long Chen and others was that these hundreds of people were all immortal and strong, and these immortal and strong people seemed to be middle-aged, full of qi and blood, without any sign of decline. Different from those immortal strong men in the wilderness and no man's world, they are all bad old leaders, while the immortal strong men present are all in their prime years, full of life and blood. As soon as Long Chen and others came in, they were oppressed by the terrible qi and blood. If they hadn't already dealt with the immortal strong, such a terrible atmosphere would have made them unable to move. Long Chen was shocked when Lingxiao Academy had such terrible strength and so many immortal strongmen. You know, when Long Chen first came here, they said that the strongest one in Lingxiao Academy was Bai Letin, the dean of Lingxiao Academy. He was just a fairy king. At that time, Long Chen was still strange. Lingxiao Academy was decadent and talent was withered. He was provoked by all kinds of curfew, but no superpower came to challenge him. Now Long Chen realized that only powerful forces knew the horror of Lingxiao Academy, and they didn't bother to remind those who didn't know how to live and how to watch them. Dean Long Chen, long time no see. I'm very advanced and my strength is soaring. Congratulations. As Long Chen just came in, he was startled by the scene in front of him. He forgot the etiquette, but Bai Letian said hello to Long Chen with a smile. I've seen the president, and I've seen your predecessors. They are so brave that they forget what to say. Please don't blame them. Long Chen said with a smile. Long Chen's joking and laughing, the strong people who were not smiling, suddenly appeared a smile on their faces, and the serious atmosphere was diluted a lot. Although all the people present are immortal and strong, Long Chen is just a king of the world, but Long Chen has a special status and holds the post of president. According to reason, when these immortal and strong people see Long Chen in public, they also have to salute to show respect. On the spot, Long Chen admitted that he was a younger generation. He was humble and polite. He flattered everyone and lowered his posture, which made people feel very comfortable. These are immortal and powerful people. They have seen countless proud people, but it's the first time for them to meet someone like Long Chen who has such a powerful power, integrates all kinds of auras, and can keep such a low profile. Although some of them were arrogant and respectful in front of them, they couldn't hide their ignorance of heaven and earth in their eyes. But Long Chen is different. He is neither humble nor overbearing, neither arrogant nor disheartened. His posture is very low, but no one dares to look down on him because of his posture. On the contrary, it makes people feel his strength from the bottom of their hearts, and makes people feel good about him. Sit down, everyone. You're welcome. Bai Letian motioned for everyone to take their seats. Although the hall was broken, the place was big enough. More than 5,000 dragon blood soldiers came, but it still didn't seem crowded. Bai Lishan's eyes swept over Bai Shishir and Bai Xiaola, with a touch of appreciation in his eyes. Obviously, he saw that they had become stronger, especially Bai Xiaola. He finally saw the edge in his eyes, which was the strength of the strong. Bai Xiaola finally grew up. Bai Letian wanted to praise them, but it was not suitable for this occasion, so he had to hold back. At this time, the Lord of the Temple sat next to Bai Letian. Lord, what's the situation in Niangshan? After all, the distance between Ming Haoyan and Nye Tian is too far, and the news transmission is very slow. The latest news received here is that of Long Chen and others after the robbery. The great wilderness has been destroyed by the Dragon Dust and the Dragon Blood Legion, and most of the No Man's world has been destroyed by him. His vitality has been greatly damaged, and he can't become any climate. The Lord of the Temple is humane. With the opening of the Lord of the Hall, all the strong people on the scene were moved. When they looked at Long Chen and others again, they suddenly felt a sense of new look. One immortal strong man nodded and said, Dean Long Chen is really powerful. There are many immortal strong men in both worlds. It's no wonder that they will suffer such serious internal injuries. They all can see that Long Chen and others are short of qi and blood, and their souls fluctuate rapidly. Obviously, they are all badly hurt. You are wrong. Their injuries are not done by the immortal strong. They can't hurt them at all. The Lord shook his head. Are you not immortal? They were surprised again. When they destroyed the wilderness, everything went well, but when they attacked the uninhabited world, their luck was very bad, and there was a newly sanctified guy in it. The Lord of the Temple is humane. Sanctification? The presence of the immortal strong were startled. Even by Latian cannot help but move. Isn't Ninefold a dead end? The chaotic chi can't be recycled. How can the Holy One be born? A strong immortal can't help saying, that guy is the Red Devils. The Lord of the Temple is humane. Hearing what the Lord of the Temple said, the strong people on the scene suddenly realized that they all knew the magic power of the Red Devils, and they were relieved. The Lord of the Hall roughly told the crowd about the battle between Longchen and the Red Hair Monster. When they heard that the Dragon Blood Army could block the Holy One's attack, they all looked unbelievable. When it comes to the fact that dragon dust blows the Red Hair Monster's head, the expressions on the strong people's faces are wonderful. If they don't know that the Lord of the Temple never exaggerates, they even think it's telling a story. When they look at Longchen again, it's like looking at a monster. Their eyes are different from before. It's just luck, it's just luck. Longchen said with a smile. The Lord of the Hall simply talked about the way Longchen dealt with the traitors of the Terran. All the strong people could not help nodding their heads. They thought Longchen dealt with the traitors very well. Biletian said with a smile, President Longchen has always been modest and polite, which is rare among the younger generation. However, we are modest and courteous. We are both at home and abroad. This time, we are anxious to ask President Longchen to come back to find a strong spokesman. Because looking at the whole Lingxiao Academy and the Hall of War God, I really can't find a more suitable person than Longchen. We hope that in the future, President Longchen will take a modest attitude and be more violent, more insolent and more overbearing to the outside world. Longchen and others were stunned, especially the soldiers of the Dragon Blood Legion. It seems that they think the boss is powerful enough. How can they be more powerful? A strong man sitting next to the Lord of the Temple tried to open his mouth several times. At this time, he finally stood up and said, Mr. Dean, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Shall I come? Well, let's talk about it from Deputy Hall Master Lei. Biletian was not angry either. He gave a smile and motioned for him to say. The Deputy Hall Master of that thunder looked at Longchen and said, It'll be simple. You can be simple. We used to reason with others. Now we don't talk about reason. Now it's too late to talk about reason. We only talk about fists in the future. Longchen suddenly froze, still did not understand what meaning. Buzz, at this time, a huge mirror appeared in the hall, and then a picture appeared in the mirror. When they saw that picture, the heads of Longchen and others were buzzing, and the flames on their heads were about to burn. www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. Chapter 4385. In the picture, there is an old city with a lot of traffic and a prosperous scene. But what makes Longchen and others angry is that on the street, there are countless people, even like animals, with collars around their necks and chains on their bodies, helping people pull cars. Even some people, even like dogs, are led around by others. In the nearby market, there are cages in which some young human men and women are imprisoned and sold openly. The Terran is regarded as a slave and a beast. Seeing this, the killing intention in the pupil of Longchen spreads in an instant, which is the biggest shame to the Terran. Where is this? Longchen's face was gloomy and he bit his teeth. This is the world of Yuyang, one of the worlds opened by this time. The immortal and strong replied. It's too much to dare to humiliate the Terran like this. Well, go to meet them when we've healed our wounds. Guoran also can't help saying that whoever sees this picture can't stand it. Shame the Terran? No, they are insulting themselves, they can't blame others. A strong immortal shook his head. Why? The crowd was shocked and angry. The immortal and strong man said, they really humiliated themselves, because no one forced them to enter the Yuyang world. They went voluntarily. How is that possible? Bai Shishi's face is unbelievable. The immortal strong man said, it's true, because the chaos of Yuyang world is very strong, and the law of heaven is most suitable for human cultivation. Yang had a unique law of the way of heaven, where not only the speed of practice would be accelerated, but also the perception of the way of heaven would be enhanced. Therefore, it has attracted numerous strong people of human race to come in swarms, and Yang has its own indigenous people, most of whom have strong blood lineage and extremely strong strength. Although they don't hate the Terrans, they don't want to like them, or more or less despise them. In order to enter the Yang world for practice, the human race is even willing to be an ox and a horse for the alien race, sell their flesh, soul, and slaves. Even if you have the ability to communicate with heaven, what can you do? To save them? How can that be? Guoran and others gnashed their teeth, but they didn't know where they were angry. At first, they thought that these people were forced and enslaved, but they didn't expect that they had a thick face to beg others, and they were so angry that they would spit blood. And as Deputy Hall Master Lei spoke, the pictures suddenly turned. Countless disciples of the human race were kneeling on the ground, worshipping a strange totem. After the worship, they dropped a drop of blood on the totem. Then their whole body glowed and their breath rose wildly. One by one, these people broke through the realm, and they cried excitedly, "Sure enough, you only need to worship the gods and offer the essence and blood to improve your realm." Guoran and others were shocked. Is there such a cheating way of cultivation in the world? It's impossible, isn't it? But the picture is recorded with the photo jade, and cannot be fake. Those people really break through one by one. At that moment, even the dragon dust was silly. If it's true, what are you doing? Let's go to worship the gods. Looking at those people yelling excitedly, Long Chen can understand their feelings, not to mention them. Even if it's anyone else, he will be excited when he meets such a magical situation. Buzz, then the picture turns, those people and totems are gone, replaced by a desert, in which lies a corpse. Look at the costumes of those people. They are just the disciples who were excited and yelled because of their advancement. When they saw this scene, they were all dumbfounded. What's the situation? If so, after forced ascension, stimulate their potential. When their potential is exhausted, they will directly absorb all their energy, take back all that is given to them, and take away their cultivation and life together. Seeing the mummy in the picture, Long Chen's eyes became colder. This is a group of extremely insidious guys. The previous picture is their propaganda picture, in order to attract more people to join them. They also invite people to try it for free, using the so-called power of the gods to help people improve. In fact, once they ascend for the first time, they can't stop. Their souls, controlled by invisible forces, will fall into the abyss step by step until everything is swallowed up. There are countless people who have been cheated. We have collected this picture secretly and published it. But there are still people who have been cheated. They would rather believe that God than us. Lei Vice Hall Master Helpless Tunnel. A drop of blood essence? Help people improve? Mummy? Totems? Wait, Master, please help me replay the picture just now. I want to see the totem again. Dragon Dust suddenly thought of what, hastily Wei. Deputy Hall Master Lei plays the first picture again. When he sees the totem pillar, Guoran and others have to look at it carefully, but they can't see any clue. The totem pole is very chaotic. It seems that there is no law, but on the totem pole, there is a pattern of a sun and a moon, and nothing else can be seen. Seeing Long Chen staring at the totem pole, other people followed him and looked at it carefully, but the picture was a little blurred and nothing could be seen at all. We've seen it many times. All the sketches of this totem pillar are deceptive. They deliberately lead people into the pit. We can't see the mystery at all. We can't calculate its origin. The Academy has studied it for a long time. It's the ghost bat in the Chaos era. That January is its eye. Long Chen suddenly opens away. The tone is very affirmative. When the word ghost bat is heard, these immortal and strong people are not calm, and a touch of shock appears in everyone's eyes. Dean Long Chen, are you sure? You know, the Ghost Bat clan in the Chaos era has been completely extinct after several suppression, a strong immortal can't help saying. Guoran and others don't know, but these immortal and strong people have lived for a long time, and they know a lot of secrets. But even if they hear the word Ghost Bat, they will turn pale. 7/8 of 10, Long Chen is very determined. 7 or 8 out of 10, it is basically a matter of certainty. If Long Chen is not sure, he will not speak in this tone. If it's really the rebirth of the Ghost Bat clan, I'm afraid the world will be in chaos and catastrophe will come. Deputy Hall Leader Lei's face changed. Seeing that everyone's face has changed, Guoran and others are confused. They have never heard of ghost bats. They are at a loss and don't know why people's faces have become so serious. Is the ghost bat really that powerful? Bai Xiaola couldn't help interrupting. Bai Letian also said solemnly, "It can't be said that it's terrible, but it's terrible. If it's true that the Ghost Bat clan is born, as Long Chen said, it's really troublesome. I'm not sure, but we have to prepare for the worst. Now we have to send people to watch them immediately. When necessary, at all costs, we will do our best to kill them in the cradle." The word, Ghost Bat clan, made the atmosphere of the whole scene dignified. After a long silence, the Deputy Hall Master Lei said, "The matter of Ghost Bat clan, put it aside first, and let it be handed over to us, Dean Longchen. We have an important task for you." www.novelhold.com, the fastest update of the web novel. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.